All right, and welcome everybody back on into the Frank's retirement home. I am Ruler of Men, joined by Freaky G with Salty on the cams. How are we doing, Freaky?
I'm doing good, man. We're here in semifinals now. It's Bodega, Hive, and Death Dealers. I mean, this is going to be a really good game. We got the top number two and number three seed playing against each other.
Yeah, first semifinals for this Canes division. Already seeing some target bans come out. Obviously, you got to ban, Thoris's Ares, can't be having that. And then, of course, Devin Frisco, known for his Bakasura. So getting these target bans out early.
Yeah, you definitely want to get these really good players off their comfortable picks as soon as you can. It's a pretty good way of saying, hey, we respect you for that one. Obviously, you got to this point playing these picks well, so we're not going to give you the opportunity to go any further playing these picks in particular.
Yeah, and 5 target bans out of 6.
Mm-hmm.
You see the Thoris Ares ban, you
Oh
see the
wow.
Jet Forever Agni, then just all of Devin Frisco's jungle picks. Can't be having that. Can't let him have anything nice. Going to
It's kind of.
go
Oh,
with this
sorry.
Erlong Shen first pick and get that locked in, and he feels really good with that new item, the Equinox.
Yeah, Equinox has been such a turning point in the patch lately for Smite. A little bit of nerfs here and there, but Equinox just is such a good item. It gives you healing when they're facing you. You deal more damage if you're hitting them in the back. It's just a very strong item, and it's brought these auto attack warriors back to the forefront again. They were really strong in the start. They were still strong after the patch to Guardians getting better with their items, but Equinox brings these warriors right back to the front of the meta again. And I mean, I would not be surprised if this is all we see until something happens to that item or they buff some other stuff that just makes other things better.
Yeah, definitely a really strong item. Can be abused pretty well, and we see the first 3 picks are picks that use it. Just flat
Yeah.
out.
Oh yeah.
Erlang, Bologna, Osiris, all 3 of them use it extraordinarily. So definitely
I,
going to be seeing the backshot blade come out.
I would go so far as to say the item is in such a strong place right now that you're going to probably see this item get built on characters that probably don't use it to its greatest effectiveness. Say if for some reason we have a chalk solo, I wouldn't be surprised if they build it. It's kind of like old phalanx shield, where even if it wasn't a good item for the particular character, you still built it. But we'll see. That's yet to come.
Yeah, it definitely has potential outside of the characters that abuse it. I mean, it's just a very cheap power spike, obviously taking over the spot of that golden blade. So very cheap. Has, a pretty decent effect, even just helping some characters that don't have sustain get some. As we see Xbalanque Afro locked in, and I'm assuming that's the duo lane.
It's gotta be. It's gotta be. I mean, Afro isn't necessarily known for her mid laning prowess anymore. If she ever was, it was a long time ago. So I'm not surprised. I would not be surprised to see this go anywhere else. But I don't think Bro Taco's known for his Afro play, and I'm yet to see it as well.
Afro's just one of those picks where you link up to somebody that's just strong and wants to fight people like this Erlong Shen. He's gonna be sustaining with the lifesteal in his one, with his ultimate, with this Afro link to him, with the Equinox. He's going
Mm-hmm.
to be really hard to fight, and I love this ESET pick. I think
Mm-hmm.
it's a really sleeper pick. I know that when we were playing the casters versus gaffers, we banned it every game. It's that strong, and people are sleeping on it. So I'm glad to see it find the light of day here.
Yeah, she is really feeling good. All those item changes have made her even better. Not to mention all of her little quality of life buffs, and she's always going to be the strongest objective character in the game, in my opinion. I think she beats out Scylla, Kukulkan, all those high profile mages, Thoth. God forbid I forget that one. ESET definitely sits at the top moniker of objective play, which means that's likely what Death Dealer is going for. High burn, high burst potential on objectives, and team fights are going to look about the same.
Yeah, definitely have that big shred potential with already locking in those 2 auto attackers. Probably haven't seen their ADC come out yet, so should be able to burn those down pretty quickly, like you're talking about. And seeing some interesting bans, seeing the Zeus come out. Zeus, another god that I think is really strong but slept on right now, and then just you can't have any of these turbo aggressive guardians.
No, yeah, said the Guardian over here, Jing Qian getting banned away, Sobek, two really aggressive Guardians. You put them in support, and they can do a lot of really good things in the early and mid game. You put them in solo lane, not likely in this game, but if you do, they can set up for their team fairly well, use their ultimates to their advantage, and just simply be a menace in the enemy backline. So, not surprised again to see Bodega Hive get rid of these two picks.
Yeah, Ganesh going to, fill that support slot for the Death Dealers, and that is a really scary team. Going to
Mm-hmm.
need to see a couple of sprints come out from Bodega. I mean, the slows on that Death Dealer side are insane. Osiris, all he wants to do is slow you. Eset Silence, also a slow. Ganesha, oh, it's a slow. So definitely going to have to watch out for that. In Vamana, another one of these Equinox abusers getting locked in, and he's another one that I think is kind of ban worthy at this point. When he's in that ultimate, he's hitting a couple targets with those cleave autos. He gets so much healing, so much extra damage if you try to run away from him. Very scary god right now.
Yeah, especially with how his ultimate works, and he gets that life steal while he's ulting now, gets that health shield. Like Equinox is just such a strong item, and we're seeing all of the warriors in the game that make perfect use of Equinox right here in this first game. Erlong, Bologna, Osiris, Vaughn, and it's just going to be Equinox everywhere at all times.
Yeah, definitely. Both of these teams have really good paths into that early Bull Demon, which is something I'm hoping we see a little bit of. It's still something that I'm not used to. I never
Oh,
remember to do it. I'm playing casual and like I see the enemy has destroyed the bull demon. I'm like, oh yeah, that is a thing. Yep. I'm
yeah,
gonna forget about that next time it spawns.
it's a very interesting new objective that's come up on the map, and I actually love it. It's something that a lot of people need to really pay attention to because one thing that I've mentioned about it to my friends and to my team is the ability to snowball has just massively increased with this objective on the map. It's up every 2 minutes, starting at the 1 minute point, I believe. You can correct me if I'm wrong. And
I know it's early. I think it is
yeah,
that 1 minute mark.
it's pretty quick. It goes all the way up till 14 minutes, and that's the last spawn for it. So y'all do the math for me on that one if y'all want. But it's such a good objective because what it really does is it helps you find those early game wards. You pop that objective, global golden XP, everybody loves that. But the best part about it is all wards on the map are visible to the team that destroys the bull demon. That is a massive buff in the early game because now you can destroy those wards and set yourself up for early ganks potential as a jungle or even as a support if you're rotating around during that early mid game portion. So this is going to be a huge objective to pay attention to, and I think Death Dealers have managed to draft a comp that really helps them with that early and mid and late game. Same with Bodega Hive though. They've got a comp that does it well too.
Yeah, definitely. Both of these teams have like ridiculous fights around that. Obviously, Bologna Osiris are going to be able to really shred that down. Isak could even come throw a Spirit Ball or two at it. And then on the other side, you have Cuckoo. Oh yeah, I'm just gonna walk over there, drop a tornado to help my team shred it. Like, it's definitely going to be, I think, a big focal point in the early game if these
Mhm.
teams are really thinking about it. Because again, it is somewhat new. It is hard to remember. So definitely
Uh,
going to be interesting.
You know what I'm still kind of stuck on here, and it might be the pettiest of things as we're looking at these comps. I want to know which warrior goes solo and which warrior goes jungle on both of these teams. You've got Bologna and Osiris on Death Dealers. Both are phenomenal in both roles in the current state of the game. Same with Erlong Shen and Vaughn. Erlong Shen's not the strongest solo laner, but with the change, we're with the new Equinox item. I definitely think he's made his way back over there if he wants to go in that lane. And I mean, Berserker Shield and Shoguns has always been such strong items, anyways, especially with the changes to Shoguns to give it 40% attack speed to the wearer. So, I mean, you can't go wrong with any of these four picks in any of these two roles. I just want to know who's going where now.
Uh, Realistically, it should just be Bologna solo and Vamana solo, just the ones that make sense.
Mm-hmm.
Believe we are having some technical difficulties, so going to be getting right back with you guys in just a couple minutes. welcome back, everybody. Little technical difficulties, but we made it through on into this game. I already got these people lined up, and I was a little bit wrong. Osiris over there in the solo, Bologna in the jungle. Other than that, Ganesha ADC looking pretty good. Looking pretty good.
Ganesha ADC, so strong. It's such a prevalent ADC pick. Oh, okay, there we go.
Oh, okay. Ganesha support, that makes a little bit more sense. Okay.
We were gonna hate him for doing it, that's for sure.
No, you
Anyways,
just gotta mess with him.
but anyways, now Bologna though is going in the jungle. That is a true fact here, and I'm agreeing with you beforehand. I think the Bologna would have been better off being the solo laner in this game, but to be honest, with Death Dealer's lineup, it doesn't really matter which one goes where, I guess, especially whenever both warriors are just going to come out in the late game and do the same exact thing just about.
Yeah, definitely not the biggest problem. Biggest problem though going to be Jet Forever getting killed nice and early here. Not gonna be having such a good time, gotta respect that pin from the Erlong, gets caught out, gets hit by some damage, and first blood gonna go to the Bodega Hive.
Yeah, that's a pretty good first blood to have. You want your Cuckoo ahead, and better yet, you want your enemy mid laner on this E set behind. Jet Forever wants to at least be at level. That's how you keep this character relevant. If they manage to set this E set back, that objective gameplay is going to be quite difficult.
Yeah, definitely going to hamper them a little bit if she's behind. Not going to be the end of the world. I mean, even from behind, that circle of protection is going to out-secure Spirit of the Nine Winds. It's just that broken. The only thing that compares is the Scylla with, Crush, I'm a monster going off at the same time.
Yeah, that's true. It's pop on demand, you know what I mean? And that's probably a little bit better. Cuckoo, you got to work that delay, and you're probably doing that over a circle of protection, so who knows.
And, you can get CC'd out of launching the Spirit of the Nine Winds. You said it's like, oh, I'm stunned, I'm still popping it, I don't care.
Yeah. CC does not matter in that situation. I think she can even do it when dead, but could be dead here is this Vomit.
Yep, stun comes out. Nacho picking up the first blood for his team. Not going to get that extra $300. Foosh going to pick up a kill onto Brotaco here. Going to pay for it with his life, though. And Ganesha, buddy, no. You don't fight the Shivalage.
It's Thors, man. It's Thors. I believe.
He's used to playing Ares. Ares wins that fight. Ganesha does not.
Oh, ganks all over the place. Look at Erlong.
Yeah, good Spirit Ball into Silence. Going to make sure he has no chance of closing that distance. Good play from Jet to just keep himself safe.
It's just aggression all over the place. I mean, side lanes especially. It's kills in the duo lane. It's kills in the solo lane. With or without jungle rotations as well. And I mean, I don't know if that's how either of these teams want to play it, but when both your teams are kind of looking towards that mid-game portion to really start doing things, no early game bridge to really speak of on either team, yeah, screw it. Just go all in on it, right?
Yeah, I mean, these warrior jungles just want to fight. That's kind of what they're good at. They get nice and big in the early game, and then, they're a little bit too tanky to kill fast in the late game. So definitely this early mid game is kind of the strong point for both of these drafts, just, based on the junglers that they have.
Well, I expect we'll see more aggression across the map as time goes on. But I got to look through these items, and I mean, the story kind of tells itself. We even said it on the desk. All of these warriors have a katana or upgraded a katana in their inventory. So it looks like we're going to see a 4-way spread of Equinox first item. What do you think about Equinox first item? Is it good? I know that the damage and healing is based on level, but does that matter?
No, it's just such a cheap item. It takes that spot of that golden blade. It's a very cheap item, pretty powerful as well. Bodega Hive going to pick up that Bull Demon uncontested. Maybe Death Dealers forgot about it. That's something that you gotta really be paying attention for. Great stun comes through the wall, and that's going to be a kill for Lanston.
Yeah, you missed out on an opportunity for that Bull Demon, but they picked it right back up by just grabbing the kill onto the enemy jungle. Spirit of the Nine Winds got used on Wave over there too.
I love that so
Prince
much.
just wants to back. Yeah, just wants to back. Just I don't have time for this.
I'm gonna back. There's nothing for me to use this on. Go ahead and clear that way for me.
But with that Bull Demon taken, we see Vaughn and Erlong picking up this Equinox that we've been talking about so much, and you guys see the stats right there. Heals you for 2 plus 1 per level, doubled against gods, so 4 plus 2 per level, for anyone who can't do quick math. And then a 15 plus 3 physical damage per level as well. That's a pretty good start, and you were just talking to me about how it's still a good item to pick up early. I don't know how long it's going to take Mr. Nacho to back. He needs to get this online, though, because that item disadvantage is going to end up coming back to bite him.
Yeah, but like he's an Osiris.
Yeah. Oh, he just used ult.
Oh, I don't know about the up down on that one. It is still a Vamana. You can't run away. You can't turn your back. He's got Equinox.
Almost dead. A very close encounter for Osiris. Just it's almost as if I spoke it into existence. Maybe I just saw the writing on the walls there. But Erlong in mid, though. Looking like
Good use of that circle of protection to buy a little bit of time, but it is not enough. 2 warriors in the mid lane, not gonna have any chance of living there.
just about what I expected. Oh, now Osiris come back for revenge, though. A little bit of damage, but no kill.
Yeah,
It's looking like
a bunch of damage. It's playing against Equinox is so hard, especially on characters like Vamana, because like it's a Vamana. I have to run away, but if I run away, he does more damage.
Yeah, I would not be surprised if we see both the supports in this game just pick up anti-attack speed, because it's going to be pretty relevant in this one. Bull Demon being pulled along is around, going to try and take the 1v1 while trying to steal.
Able to get it. Spirit of the Nine Winds going to be coming out a little bit too late. Alona forced to ult away, not dealing with that cuckoo damage today. And goes the way of Death Dealers, and they're starting to get themselves just a little bit of a gold lead. Nothing too crazy just yet.
So, something I'm actually looking at on these 4 warriors, because I think this is what we're going to be talking about quite a bit throughout the early and mid game for sure. One thing I was wondering, Bodega Hive have 2 warriors that probably get the best use of Equinox, whereas Death Dealers just get the 2 warriors that are just straight up better in the meta for these items. Wouldn't you agree?
No, Vamana's way more meta than Osiris.
Oh, really? Okay.
Not even close. Because you have to run away from him, and when you run away from him, he just gets that extra damage from hitting you in the back.
True. Yeah, I never considered that option. That's fair. But either way, Gold Fury being pulled by Death Dealers could turn into something. Doesn't look like anyone from Bodega Hive are paying attention.
Circle of protection available too, so not really a huge point in contesting it. Going to be able to not only, burst that down, but get some health back for Thorse, You tank a little bit, we'll give you that health rate back.
Ooh, looks like we might see a gank on the left side here over on Lickistow. Nope, he knew better.
Nope. Not stepping up to that. Nope. They just did Gold Fury. I know that they're not happy.
Okay, so this is an opportunity for me to ask you a burning question then. You're talking about Circle of... Well, I'll hold that thought.
Yep, hold that thought as ESET gets a ran at under this tower. Spirit of the Nine Winds on the mark. Arconic Prince going to be able to pick that one up. Gotta dodge those.
Yeah, you gotta get out of the way there, and Bodega Hive are not ahead right now, but it doesn't really matter because the game is so close, and the objective gameplay especially has been very even. A little bit of trading over here in the solo lane. Yep. Average solo lane gameplay, right?
We're gonna trade ults. Oh, you get lifesteal from your ult? Not anymore, bucko. Alone on a little bit of a tough spot here. Has a couple of people looking for some action, but not going to be able to find anything too crazy there. Bro Taco struggling with this prophetic, not able to find himself any stacks just yet.
Yeah, that's pretty rough. You got to get those stacks, especially on a god like Afro. We're seeing this Bull Demon being pulled by Bodega, but all of Death Dealers are aware of it. They actually transfer it over to the Death Dealers side of the map.
Yep, gonna
Ultimates
drop it and
from mid.
let it reset. Not having too much of a time there.
Yeah.
Getting a little bit of farm in the meantime. Circular protection dropped, and that's going to be Death Dealer's
Oh,
Pokemon.
Bodega
Ooh,
stole it.
big trouble
Big trouble
for
indeed.
for Arconic able to get out using that Cuckoo too. I don't feel like being slowed now. Rotako instead going to bear the brunt of that as Devin Frisco just invades the speed buff.
Crazy little thing happened there. Bodega actually stole that over Circle of Protection. If you look over at that top left-hand corner where the Fire Giant respawn is, it actually keeps count of Bull Demons as well.
It does.
And Bodega got 2 over Death Dealer's 1. That was stolen by the support Afro's tick damage.
Not the birds.
It was definitely the birds. Because that was the only person up there that threw anything at it. So good job from Brotaco. Maybe a little bit of luck playing in his favor, but either way, he did the right thing, and we appreciate him for it.
Yeah, definitely doing his best there. And honestly, I love this pick coming out of Brotaco, grabbing that winged blade.
Mm-hmm. No, I think that's a great pickup. Wingblade's gonna just make everyone on his team move a little bit faster when that gets popped. Spare the 9 wins a little off the mark.
Yeah, off the mark.
Oh, so much healing.
The knockback from from back off was so good there, getting lanced in a way, but not going to matter quite as much as you might like. And Afro, you're not safe under the tower.
Oh, wow.
There's just a Bologna. He doesn't take damage from the tower. Ganesha also does not take damage from the tower.
You were talking about how Bodega Hive really need to get some sprints and anti-movement speed, slows, to stop the slows. Devin Frisco picking up another kill on Jet Forever. But I think Death Dealers need to really invest in some anti-heal quickly.
Yeah, definitely is something that you want for sure. Already do have that, Divine Ruin, so at least it's on their minds. But yeah, they definitely, have Afro, have the Erlong ult, have the Vamana ult. A lot of lifesteal, a lot of healing coming out there.
A little bit of fight over Beacon. It's in Death Dealer's hands. Look at this rotation.
Yeah, looking good for a second, but Bodega Hive easily able to overtake there. Couple more ultimates to use. Oh yeah, nope. There's a full health Cuckoo. Never mind. That's just theirs.
Ultimate for Arconic Prince and Jet Forever is up. But it looks like it will go uncontested, as you said. This gives me a little bit of an opportunity, hopefully, to talk about that thing I wanted to talk about earlier. How do you play around the East Settle? I know this whole argument over huge secure, Circle of Protections is just better in terms of secure. How do you play around that?
You pull the objective first. Obviously, that Circle of Protection ESET needs to get, reasonably close to the objective to get it down. It takes some time to charge up before it's, super effective there. Afro in a big bit of danger here. Up, down, going to land, but Fear the 9 Winds lands as well. Foosh able to pick that one up on the back end, but solo for support, not the greatest trade.
No, I definitely would prefer to have my solo laner still alive in a fight. Nothing against my supports for sure. Just kind of how you want things to go. Solo laner definitely has more presence in most situations. But the other part about that rotation is this right here. Good job keeping that blue buff in Death Dealer's hands. Look at the level difference in solo lane right now. These rotations from Mr. Nacho has been crippling for him and maybe even his team.
Yeah, definitely, been doing okay on that gold part, obviously. They got the gold Fury. They've been doing a lot with the rotations. But it's not doing him any favors, and Eset's dead.
Yep, Eset's dead, and Cuckoo may follow. Nope, Aegis Shell.
Nope. Yep, no, I decided he's not going to die. I have an Afro. Yeah, he doesn't need to die. No worries.
That's going to be a very frustrating deal for the Bodega Hive, or for the Death Dealers, I should say. Great for Bodega Hive. They're going to be the ones that don't have to worry about, people dying. You got Afro ult, Aegis is on both your DPS characters. just a lot of survivability on all of Bodega Hive, which is why I was talking about that anti-healing. You have a Divine Ruin still.
Yeah, you have the Divine
Where's the
Ruin. You
rest?
have the Osiris ult. 100% anti-heal. If you land Osiris ult, they cannot heal. So
I
they do
guess,
have a little bit.
but what if it's down? You know, I just feel like even with the you know, okay, cover all your bases. That's what I'm trying to say. Is that does that seem like a bit much?
I mean, it's definitely something you want to do, but like it's also at the same time, there's a lot of good items that you want to build otherwise,
Mm-hmm.
and also, you're gonna have that envenomed executioner. You have a lot of options there, a lot of options under this tower too. A lot of low health bars, but nobody dying just yet. Vamana coming in the back, Ganesha falling under the tower, and Big Baby is here, and he is stepping on him. Turn your back for a second, and you're gone.
Just running them down under this tower, doing a very good job of putting out damage and picking up that kill onto my Lancin as well. Means this Pyromancer should go in their favor unless we see maybe an E-set Spirit Ball or Medusa ult steal. Could see something. Medusa doesn't have ult actually. Oh, there we go. Makes him drop it. Vomit though is going to put some pressure on the E-set.
Yeah, puts a lot of pressure, the entire health bar of pressure out. Spirit Ball not quite able to steal that kill. Nacho going to pick it up instead. Pyromancer does go down. Osiris ult a little bit off the mark, but Shablanca in a little bit of danger here, taking quite a bit of damage. However, Foosh dies in the mid lane, and Nacho's going to have to back off, and pretty big win for Bodega Hive there.
Ulting for red buff. Nice job, Prince. I mean, I'd do it. I
You
get
got
it.
to.
Yeah.
It's about sending
no,
the
you may
message.
hit
That's my buff.
Yeah. What are you doing over here? Looking over at the builds again, and I'm looking at Osiris's build more than anything, and he's definitely playing the utility aspect for his team. He's got that Frostbound Hammer, which did get a change to it recently. It's
It got
now
a
got
really big buff.
yeah, it's now way more consistent in its usage. The passive is now up about what it was in the past. I think it was somewhere around 4 second
I think it was like
internal
5
cooldown.
seconds down to 3 seconds.
Yeah,
It's very consistent now.
way more consistent now. It's actually useful in the 1v1 and the team situation. It's just more consistent. There's no other words to use, but I like the idea, but my concern with it is I don't think he'll be as tanky as he wants to be in the late game, even if he builds the rest of the items that he needs.
No, it's a pretty tanky item. It gives a ton of HP. Sure, it doesn't give the protections, but the protections don't matter too much when you're dealing with kin size executioner. Jet Forever getting caught in the back by Devin Frisco and doing really good work on this Erlong as see a little bit of a fight come out. Shivalanke going to unfortunately look into the gaze of Medusa, going to get himself petrified. Arconic Prince still doing good work in this mid lane though. My Lanston down for the count. Afro still here. Amazing Spirit of the Nine wins. 1100 damage on Fwoosh and be able to pick up that kill. And Arconic Prince on this Kukulkan is looking absolutely incredible.
Yeah, I saw two very just amazing ultimates in that team fight. One from Fwoosh comes around the corner, gets a double stun, and that's why Devin Frisco and Likisto fall. But it's Bodega Hive that come out ultimately on top in that trade with a fantastic ult from Arconic Prince to take Fwoosh down, and then lose My Lanston and Jet Forever falling really early. I think I don't know if Circle of Protections got used in that fight. It looks like based on the cooldown timer that it did, but I didn't see it be useful either, and that might be an issue if they're able to pressure Jet Forever enough that he has to snap fire that ultimate, which is probably what happened. They're gonna be able to pressure this E-set way easier than they could have ever thought to. I'm going to be watching more of Jet Forever. I want to see how these fights are going for him. I'm going to keep an eye on that.
Yeah, the problem is there's not a lot of tools that they have to get this Erlong off of you. Yeah, sure, you have the Spirit Ball. Yeah, sure, you have, Ganesha Dash, but you can't silence my autos. That's really where you have to look at it. It's really hard to feel this Erlong off. and it's hard to blow him up as well. You know, he has that Berserker. Is probably going to build a little bit more tanky. Hard to say. Osiris,
Oh,
Iron Tower
wow.
could taunt, and Vamana is here, looking for a little bit of stomping, but not going to find as much as he might like.
He canceled the ultimate, too. Very interesting. But the rest of his team is here to take this tier 1 down. And it's a 5-man grouping from Bodega Hive on this Fire Giant side. We're seeing another fight on the Ganesh.
Source is in such a bad spot. Spirit of the Nine wins, clips 2, and that should be the decider of the fight. Brotaco going to pick that one up. Fwoosh picks up 1 in return. Brotaco double kill. Fwoosh double kill as well. Still looking for a little bit more. And I mean, they have the ability to run them down. These spirit balls are connecting. Osiris is still marching forward. Medusa putting out a ton of damage. Fwoosh triple kill as the fight continues to rage on. Great beads there on the spirit ball. Might just turn this fight, not quite. Still got to be wary of Fwoosh on this Medusa.
Oh, one more Wing Gust orb hits there, and that is a dead Archonic Prince. But he didn't have vision over that side of the wall, so unable to finish that kill. Still, though, lots of deaths, lots of trading, and I mean, no one really comes out on top there. It's kind of uneven.
Oh, no.
Oh!
I gotta respect it. He was just waiting for
yeah.
it to disappear off the map, not able to quite get the connect while he was waiting on the thing. But that was a devious little play. That was a little stinker.
But that ult's on cooldown, and that's the only issue with that. But it could be up here pretty soon. There's only a Pyromancer and a Fire Giant. We'll probably see these two teams grouping up on that side of the map. Now, we have all these attack speed characters. We have all these warriors. We have all these ways of dealing with objectives and burning them. It's all about the secure. We talked about that at length as well. It seems like there's really nothing else that could be said. But we also haven't really talked about the not neutral objectives in the term of towers. When you're looking at these towers, your ADCs are usually well, we'll come back to that actually. This is looking like it's going to turn into something.
Yeah, looking for a little bit of something there. Not quite able to pick out Devin Frisco as much as they might have wanted to. Do force out that Shibalanke ult though, so not going to be able to turn off the lights in this fight.
No, not going to happen this time around, but here's a question I should ask. With all these attack speed presences on the map, these mid laners that have these massive team fight ultimates that do so much damage, who has the upper hand in the 5v5? Death Dealers or Bodega?
Honestly, it's a really tough one. Obviously, we've seen, Death Dealers take some pretty good fights, but that's after Archonic Prince drops that Spirit of the Nine wins. That's really been that deciding factor in these fights, whether or not Archonic Prince hits the right people with that. Fortunately, both warrior ults off the mark, not going to be able to find those stuns, and that's a Shibalanke with an Afro link to him. You're not killing him, I'm sorry. And on the hack end, Jet Forever gets picked out. Jungle Jimmy at least trades out there, but Devin Frisco is still lurking in the back. Afro still, keeping the team alive, keeping the team healthy, and those tornadoes are just doing so much.
Oh, look in the back. Fwoosh goes down to Devin Frisco. It's just turning into a terrible situation for Death Dealers. X-Ball chasing down Osiris. Ganesh. Not much longer for him. He's slowed. Yep, there he goes. It just gets so bad so quickly.
Yeah, the problem is that Death Dealers just want to be so aggressive. We see the solo in the jungle just immediately go for the backline. And they don't have this Afro to keep a backliner alive. They have that Ganesha. Yeah, sure, he can do a little bit, but against these auto attackers, not going to be doing too much. Bodega Hive pick up that Fire Giant, and right now, if they keep, taking these fights like these, this should just be their game to win.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm trading Jungle Jimmy for a deicide every day, especially if he's the one who starts off that deicide, kills Jet Forever. And then my Lanston, with his mistake, got himself in a situation to die. That was a bit unfortunate, but it's still just Jungle Jimmy able to do anything similar to that in the future. It's going to be Probably exactly like that in the next fight. If Jungle Jimmy gets to the back line, I don't care if all 5 members of Death Dealers are there to protect him, or all 4, I should say. I think Jungle Jimmy still just gets that kill, especially since that means that all of Bodega Hive is there to just run in right behind him.
Yeah, I mean,
So,
realistically, he's not that tanky. You know,
mm-mm.
he has two defense items. He's able to be shredded down. They're just not able to coordinate that manpower. You know, we see Death Dealers, you know, take that split fight. Yeah, we're gonna send our solo jungle into their backline and hope for the best, and just hasn't been working out for him. Still looking to bite back, looking to take down this Primal Fury, get themselves a little bit of something. Do see Circle of Protections and the Dharmic Pillars used to shred that out. But on the other side of the map, we see them pressuring towards this Phoenix, going to knock down this tier 2 tower and get themselves a little bit more golden pocket.
You know, you can have all the objective play, you can have all the auto attack warriors in the world, but nothing's going to beat good macro play, and that's exactly what Bodega Hive are putting on display right there. May get this Erlong Shin, but it looks like they're going to lose their Phoenix for Erlong Shin, and I think Bodega Hive are okay with that.
Yeah, definitely not the greatest trade. And meanwhile, you know, we see Likisto just, I'm going to go push up this other side. We're just going to continue to split this map, and
Yeah.
you're not going to be able to deal with it, you know. We're everywhere. We have this lead. Osiris, this is not your fight, buddy. You gotta get out of there.
Yeah, not looking, and it's definitely gotten worse for him. Yeah. Tough.
Yeah.
Definitely got worse for him. Still, though, talking about macro play, 3 members of Death Dealers now trying to take a Phoenix in return of their own, but they've lost another in the process. This actually looks like it could turn into a fight that Death Dealers definitely don't want right now with their Phoenixes being down, and I don't think they're getting out of this now. Vaughman's right behind them.
Yeah, Vaughman lurking in that back line. Do see the Sprute to make sure they can close that distance. Ganesha will fall.
Oh.
My Lanston should be able to get out. You know, he is a Bologna. Gonna waddle his way out, but losing 2 Phoenixes to get a little pressure on their mid Phoenix, not going to be a good trade, and Bodega Hive are just in such an incredibly strong spot right now. Circle of Protection is still up, but no Dharmic Pillars from this Ganesha who's sitting on the gray screen. All 3
Crazy.
birds down, and this is just a really tough position for Death Dealers, going to have to turtle up real strong if they want to be able to bring this game back.
How do you turtle up when your only defensive ability seems to be Circle of Protection? Well, no, we have Dharmic Pillars, actually. I'll take that.
You have the Dharmic Pillars, you have the Petrify. They have
Yeah.
the abilities to be able to kind of zone them off, but they just haven't been using them defensively. You know, we've seen Death Dealers want to be on that, you know, front foot. They want to be saying, no, we're going in, and we're gonna, you know, trade backlines, and they just haven't been able to make it happen.
Well, it's like I said, though, Death Dealers are just losing game 1 based on superior macro play. Bodega Hive saw them on Gold Fury and sent 3 members of their team, who all were attack speed characters except Cuckoo, and said, okay, we're just going to take the right side of the map. Oh, you're not back yet? Well, we'll just take we'll just take a Phoenix. Oh, you killed my jungle? Well, we got a carry pushing left lane now. We're going to take another Phoenix. And then slowly but surely it just turned into 3 Phoenixes down, and now you're on Titan defense mode. You got Fire Giant coming up in literally 30 seconds. Thank you, timer. I actually forgot that was up over there. You might even, if you're Bodega Hive, wait for this, or you'd go ahead and take it now and take a unenhanced Fire Giant fight in their Titan room because they don't have any Phoenixes anyways.
Yeah, and this is just such a tough spot to be in, you know. Death Dealers, 3 birds down, Fire Waves pushing on all sides. There's no real way that they can contest this Fire Giant. Thankfully, it's not going to be enhanced just yet, going to fall down before that's a possibility, but still just not a good spot to be in. Do see a Toxic Blade starting to come out, so, you know, a little bit more worried about that anti-heal like you were talking about earlier. Have the Pestilence as well, but too little too late, exactly.
I would have needed to see that Toxic Blade come out in place of Frostbound, or maybe a Pestilence maybe should have been at the latest 3rd item on Ganesh. Like, that anti-heal. I'm looking at this comp. You've got Jungle Jimmy on Vomit, that's healing. You've got Erlong Shinel. You can only Osiris ult so many people, you know, and I know, you know, if your ideal target is the only one not getting, or is the only one getting anti-healed and you're able to win the fight like that, that's fine, but you still have to kill 4 more people and you can only Osiris ult one person, at maybe 2 if you're, you know, throwing it out there pretty good, but it's you're really putting your eggs all in one very small basket at that point. This anti-heal issue needed to be addressed way sooner. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't think it's necessarily the healing that's been losing them these fights. It's just Death Dealers having a really good idea of what they want to do for these fights.
That's
They
true.
have their plan. They're getting on the targets they want to get on. They're making sure they can't be peeled. Oh yeah, I'm of a mana in ult. You can't peel me. There's nothing you can do to peel me. I'm going to run in and hit this person until they die.
I'm certainly
That bomb
not
didn't
saying
kill.
I'm certainly not saying that the anti-heal is the only problem, but I feel like if they had the anti-heal sooner, it could have helped them in the way that they wanted to play. I mean, I wouldn't have hated to see a second item anti-heal of some degree on every character on Death Dealers. It just makes the game a little easier. But we're going to see a Titan defense here, and it doesn't look like very defended Titan.
Yeah, Titan already at that half health point. Not going to be long for this world.
Oh.
Spirit of the Nine Winds rips through, not only damages the Titan, but kills Fwoosh, and Bodega Hive take a very convincing game 1. Was even for a little bit, you know, right around that 15-minute mark, and then a couple of good fights just launch Bodega into the stratosphere, able to take that game 1, and gonna have to see what Death Dealers are able to change up for this game number 2.
I know if I'm Death Dealers, I'm removing this entire idea of 3 assassin bans. I think that this game may have been a pick and draft loss for Death Dealers, and I mean they're a really strong team. Obviously, you get to semifinals and you finish second seed. You can't say that these guys are bad at what they do, but they need to address the elephant, or in this case, the big baby in the room, and get rid of this Vomit. I think this is a pick that should not come back game 2.
Yeah, definitely think that we can get rid of that pick game 2. I mean, I think he's one of the strongest gods right now, just because you know you can't peel him. You have to run away, and he gets that extra damage. And definitely going to have to look at what they change up for game number 2 in the picks and bans. We'll be back in just a couple minutes. All right, and welcome back, everybody. Couple of technical difficulties, but nothing that's going to stop us here. Welcome back for game number 2, Bodega Hive versus Death Dealers. Bodega taking that one pretty convincingly towards that
Mhm.
late game. I am Ruler of Men, still joined by Freaky with Salty on the cams. How are we doing, Freaky?
Uh, Man, I'm okay, but I just need to see this Vomit ban, and I'll be so much better. Death Dealers didn't look bad throughout the early and mid game. Late game, there was just a very clear indication on who had the better comp and better draft. But Death Dealers aren't opting for it in the first. I hope it drops it down to at least the third ban. I need to see it, man. It's gotta happen.
Yeah, I don't see any way that you just let that come through again. Obviously, it just put in so much work on that game one, but sticking to their roots here, still looking at the same bands from game one, it feels like. Don't think it's actually true.
Devin Frisco is still a very strong player, and I can see the respect needed to put on him, especially with how strong Bakasura is and his presence on that character as well. They are switching it up, though. It's not three bans going in the way of the enemy jungle. We are seeing this Thoth ban, so at least going to take something from Arconic Prince as well, which means he'll likely get to go back to that Cuckoo if they top three it. But the Thoth ban is also a necessary evil, I would have to say, especially with how objectives are in this game right now.
Yeah,
Oh,
definitely don't think you have too much of a choice there. Still gonna let it through and still gonna top pick this Erlong. That's an interesting decision. Gonna have to see how that plays out. Don't think it's necessarily a crazy idea, but I think the
okay.
Death Dealers just picks up Vamana here.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I guess the other way you could make me happy if Death Dealers didn't want to disappoint is they just take the bomb in, and that might be the play here. They do grab the Osiris again. Mr. Nacho loves this pick, and the Odin pick. Now I'm disappointed because Bodega Hive can just pick Vomit back up, and what can Vomit do against an Odin? Walk
He can just
right out
walk
of the
through.
cage.
You know,
You just walk right out. So Death Dealers are once again not addressing what we consider to be the issue, but they're the ones playing the game, so maybe they don't consider Vomit the issue in that game.
I mean, I don't see a world where it isn't, but
Right?
they got to do what they got to do.
Yeah.
Definitely
Hmm.
don't think it's necessarily foolish, but certainly going to be a tough one. I mean, that Vamana Erlong combo looked so difficult for them to deal with in those team fights, so going to be a tough one.
I mean, Bodega Hive are on the fast track to getting at bare minimum right now. They're 4 out of their 5 picks in that last game. Cuckoo is banned, so they're not going to be able to get that back for Arconic Prince. But if you get Erlong Vomit X Ball, 3 characters you had in the last game who all 3 performed, mind you, and then you go back to your support pick and you manage to get the Aphrodite again. Wow. Congratulations. You just got the winning formula handed back to you. Insert high damage artillery mage here, and you've probably just got yourself the 2-0 victory. That's just how I see it.
Yeah, definitely looking like a tough draft to deal with here. Definitely going to be an interesting one to see here. Do love the Rama. I think he is one of the best right now, but just such a hard team to go against right now. That squad is just looking so tough.
So, my question for you is where do you think this Odin goes? Is this going to be an Odin support or is this going to be an Odin jungle? Because my mind's thinking if this is how the meta's shifting, where's the Fafnir at? Because I feel like Fafnir would be really strong for either of these teams if they wanted to change the game up.
Fafnir is definitely a strong god, definitely close to my heart, but I do know that Odin is something that Thor's likes, so gonna have to be little wary of it for sure.
Maybe
Could
maybe
definitely see
uh
that come out.
maybe Nacho plays Fafnir solo or something. Highly unlikely, but maybe dreams do come true. We'll see. I Bands only shifting in small directions though. It's 2 mage bands from Death Dealers rather than 3 assassin bands. So some decent changes for them, but Bodega Hive haven't changed their bands at all. They know what they don't want, and that's Thor's on something he likes. So, but Odin being picked up, I think the support bands may have been a bit of a throwaway.
Yeah, definitely an interesting one to say the least. Just going to be a tough one for sure.
Hmm.
Don't mind that Yu Huang pickup. Obviously, fares a little bit better into the Vamana than the E-set last game. Have a couple more tools to be able to get away from there.
Yeah, I think this Yu Huang pick is a good transition away from the E set. I know what they wanted to do with it, but Vaughn just made that impossible for E set. And since they opted not to get rid of the Vaughn, the change in mid laner is a pretty good one, in my opinion. You take this Yu Huang, oh, Vaughman's jumping on me. Well, I can just weather the storm, if you will, by just going up into the sky for a little bit and let my team ferry around me whenever I hit the ground and possibly get a counterplay. So good decision from Death Dealers in the change there. I think this mid laner is an ideal pick and definitely feels pretty good in this meta as well. This Disco pick, on the other hand, also feels pretty good in this meta.
Yeah, it definitely doesn't feel bad. And the more I think about it, the less I like this Odin pick. So let's
Hmm.
look. They have an Erlong, so he's autoing that wall twice as fast as a normal person. Vamana, Shivalanke, they all auto through it very quickly. So going to be a tough one to deal with. Maybe they're just looking to separate out a member or two. This Kepri, for example, could be a really good target for that cage. Just cage the Kepri and take the fight without him. Like
Hmm.
not using it for that traditional. We're gonna lock everybody inside and throw abilities at it.
I do also like the mental aspect that this Kepri's playing because it looks to me like they still need to pick their jungle on the side of Death Dealers. So it's almost like, hey, you haven't picked your jungle yet. Thanatos is up, Achilles is up. Sure, you can go with one of these execute gods, but we also have options to deal with it. And I think Death Dealers picking this Thanatos here just kind of played into Bodega Hive's hand. Now you don't have this auto attack style character, but you have Thanatos. You're not really going to get the best out of Equinox with a Thanatos, but at least you can stop the Kepri ult if you're fast enough.
Yeah, definitely can't help deal with that Kepri ult, and definitely don't mind the Thanatos, especially into this Vamana. Again, just because you're a big baby doesn't mean you can't be executed, and
Mm-hmm.
burst characters are good against Vamana. He does get to get that extra duration on the ultimate when he's getting hit, allows him to big baby much longer, makes it a lot harder to fight him there. But
Mm-hmm.
they could shred him down pretty quickly with this Rama, this Osiris, and then just boom, execute. So definitely could see a lot of good counterplay come out from there. Certainly don't think this is a draft diff in either way. I think
No.
Bodega might still have the slightest of edges, but I think Death Dealers know how they want to run their comp.
One thing that I do really like about Death Dealer's draft in this game into the Vaughn is that they've picked backliners that actually have the ability to avoid Vaughn. If he goes into Big Baby, Yuhong can fly into the air, Rama can fly into the air, and just weather the storm while Odin, deals with the problem for a little bit. Sorry, Odin, you're just gonna have to sit there and take damage from Vaughn for a little while until we get back on the ground. But until then, just hang in there. You're a tank. You should be able to. I also like the dive from Death Dealers. And the best part is, my biggest complaint in the last game, you don't have to worry about anti heal as much this game. Erlong, Shin, and Vomit are going to be healing. That's pretty normal. But you don't have an Afro in this game. And you don't have enhanced healing. Like it's a pretty standard team comp from Bodega Hive for sure. But Death Dealers also managed to draft a standard comp that has the tools.
They do also have 200% anti-heal ults. Does help out quite
Yeah,
a bit.
that does help quite a bit.
Maybe you're not landing the Osiris ult, but if we're fighting in cage, you're not healing.
True, true. So we'll see how Death Dealers play this one out for sure. I'm excited to see if Death Dealers manage to draft the comp that is necessary to deal with these problems. Odin is still very strong in my opinion, even with his nerf in this patch. I mean, cooldown is cooldown is cooldown, and that's always going to be a very nice feeling whenever you have an Odin that's just constantly caging everyone. And if Odin's also able to weather the storm against this Vomit in the dive and Erlong Shin, and Vaughn comes out a big baby. Now you can cage him. Now you have the ability to lock him inside it and kill him.
Yeah, definitely a lot of opportunities there for both teams to play these fights kind of how they want to. Overall, which one of these teams are you giving the edge?
Man, I'm still giving it to Bodega Hive. I think this pick from the Vaughn is very strong, and I think we've hit that point in the meta again where there's like 3 or 4 characters that you kind of have to have either banned or picked. and Vomit is definitely up there. Erlong is definitely up there. So I'm giving it to Bodega, but only a slight edge. There is a very realistic chance that Death Dealers take this to a game 3.
Yeah, I definitely don't think it would be outrageous to see this going to a game 3, and I think I might have to agree. I think that Bodega just edges out just a little bit with that Vamana pick. I think that it is just first pick, first ban worthy. Like, I think it's just a god that you do not want to see against you on the other side. And Thor's already getting active. He's like, yeah, I'm Odin. I have the ability to run at you.
That's going to be a very big difference in this game in support picks. He was on that Ganesh last game. Which, don't get me wrong, I think Ganesh is still very relevant. He's not the strongest support, but in Frank's retirement home, Ganesh seems to fall into the top 5 support picks of all time. And it just didn't work for him. It didn't do what it needed to do. Yeah, the Vomit walks over a line and gets his prots reduced, but Equinox is just so strong. It just heals up all the damage that he's taking. But this change to the Odin, definitely a big one. It's going to help him have more pressure in this lane, helps this Rama clear. All this CC he's going to be able to put out. When I say all this CC, he's going to stun. But, like, you get the idea. Also, anti-attack speed slow on this character. You dive him, hey, I can just make you do less damage faster.
Yep, big fight in this solo lane. Stun should come out in a second. And Nacho gonna pick up the first blood. Nice solo kill, says Vamana who? I'm Osiris. I win the lane.
Yeah, this is a great start for him. I mean, getting Vomit in the early game, knocking him down, and mind you, he doesn't even have a tier 1 item in his inventory. He actually went for the upgraded teleport start, so he has all that sustain in his back pocket of those health pots that he can just have constantly ticking throughout this early 3-minute phase before he backs. Now he's going to be able to back and come back with a Masamune Blade, which is, I believe that's the name of the tier 2 for that item.
1000-volt blade.
Oh, it's 1000-volt. 1000-volt.
Masamune is a super old item. It was like a hybrid item. Yeah, it gave you defense based on the amount of people near you.
Rest in peace, Masamune. I actually really like that item. But anyways, 1000-fold blade though. Okay, he's only got the tier 1. Sad. But no, that's a great start. This is way better for you in the situation that you were last game. You don't have to worry about the Vomit just getting a massive lead now because you've taken care of that problem already and you did it yourself.
Yeah, that, and he TP'd back to lane, and his TP cooldown is just so much shorter because he hasn't upgraded. So you see a little sneaky invade coming out. Devin Frisco gonna fight for his life with these, but Mannequins, makes short work of it.
Maybe we see a rotation to this Bull Demon too. Both the junglers are hanging around this side of the map. Thanatos, Smilanson, checking. Realizing his camps have been taken. Big Sag is the jungle.
Should have been able to realize that a lot sooner. It does change on the map. The color changes when you take that TP camp.
We still wanted the timer,
Yeah. Still want the timer. Still want to make sure Nacho's able to get that blue buff, and Nacho has an overwhelming advantage in this lane right now. Jungle Jimmy gonna be forced to back already. Was out of health, out of mana, and still going the way of Mr. Nacho over here.
I think this is also what's going to help the Death Dealers out in this game. Again, it's still a slight edge in Bodega's favor. You haven't knocked this Vomit down to a 2-level gap, and even then, him being 2 levels behind, that ult's still going to do the same thing once he gets Equinox online, especially. It's going to be a little less healing in comparison. But what I do love about this draft is what I've said already. It's the pressure that it brings in the early game. All these characters do very well in the early. Osiris has really strong clear, isn't very mana hungry either. Odin is a little mana hungry, but he has that green buff that gives him enhanced MP5. So there's more to look forward to. He can cast those abilities out a little bit more frequently, or a little bit more consistently, I should say, for longer. A lot of good things. Holy crap.
Yeah, Arconic Prince gets aggressive there, drops that golden apple of Discord and says, nope, you're going to the gray screen. Nice solo kill for Arconic Prince. Thanatos forced to ult away here. Gets tagged by the Erlong. Please don't go back in. It's not a fight you win.
No, I definitely like the disengage there. This is the only part of the draft that I'm questioning, and it's this Thanatos pick. And the thing that bugs me is that Thanatos is an early game monster, right? He's so strong in the early. He gets all this damage. He can run into your lane and 2-tap you with his abilities, and you're likely dead, especially if he's auto-canceling. And we're probably not going to get to see that from him because you've got to deal with an Erlong who has a pretty decent ability to trade early. You've got to deal with a Vomit, if you go in his lane, he's just going to ult and heal and get away from you. There's just so many tools on Bodega Hive's team for this Thanatos to just kind of seem irrelevant in the early, and that's a bit of a feels bad for my Lanson.
Yeah, definitely tough to find your angle. Realistically, your best option is looking for Arconic Prince, but you know, Discordia with that little jump with the invisibility, a little bit hard to lock down. Death Dealer is looking over towards this flourished Bull Demon. Jungle Jimmy gonna come over to fight, but forced into the ult immediately. You can just walk out of that cage. You don't have to die in there.
Massive play from Death Dealers here. Going to be able to pick that one up. And Osiris may fall.
Osiris might fall. That is a possibility. Nacho going to be taking that spill there.
Oh, wow.
It looks like some more are on the way. 2 for 1. Odin going to be chased down. Not quite good stun. Really thought that Scarab's Blessing extra movement speed was going to get that kill there, but just not quite enough. Death Dealer is able to secure the Bull Demon, grab themselves a pick on this Vamana, but trade out for 2. Pretty even there.
Yeah, that's a pretty even trade. The Bull Demon is going to at least pay back in dividends when they're able to get those wards, if there are any up for them to take down. Doesn't look like there is as I look on the map. Blue buff invade as well from Erlong Shin hurts this Osiris, and all of that potential that we were talking about with this Osiris First Blood may have just kind of been shattered.
I mean, he still has a lead in that lane, still has a pretty decent advantage there,
Ow.
as we see him just, you know, do that to a Vamana. So
Yeah,
definitely not doing too bad over there, but the gold is even, the XP probably going the way of Bodega Hive a little bit. Probably about even, actually. Seeing couple differences between both sides.
still a very close game in the early, just like last game. The early game was a very close game for both these teams. And, I mean, if it goes the same way it did before, this is how Bodega Hive won it in the first place. They were a little bit behind in the early, very small amounts, not even like negligible amounts, if you will. Mid game, it was still stayed pretty even, but the team fights started swinging in their favor. This game, it might not go exactly the same way, as we see the auto trades and solo lane, duo lane.
Up looking for something, does land it, boom.
There's your
Taken
angle.
out, lick a stow to the gray screen. Lanston loses half of his health to that to that tower. Just lands just an inch inside of it, takes 2 shots, and can't feel good, but Rotako a little bit late on the ultimate there, not going to get it off, and that's a good pick for Death Dealers.
Yeah, there's your angle right there. There's another character that you can gank. He waited for that dash to go on cooldown and immediately goes and takes care of the problem. Bull Demon does go down. It's stolen away, though. Or it is taken by the Death Dealers, excuse me. Apparently that first one was not taken by the Death Dealers. It was actually taken by Bodega Hive.
No, Bodega Hive just stole that one.
Oh, was it that one? Okay.
Yeah,
I'm not sure. I wasn't sure.
Arconic just got it with the disco and picked up Jet Forever as well. And that's a 3-level lead, and that is going to be a very, very scary Discordia.
This is going to turn into a much tougher situation too. Jet Forever on this Yu Huang really needs that lead. He wants those levels. Look at this fight brewing in the mid. Oh.
And we just have.
Oh, good ult.
Didn't die to the Osiris ult. He died to the Odin ult.
Yep.
The spear chased him out because he got resurrected through it.
Osiris got him low. What a triple pull or triple taunt though. Almond diving this tier 1, but not going to find a kill.
Nope, going to find half of his health bar in tower shots. Not too much else there. Still looking pretty even over here in duo lane. You know, did see X-Ball take that little spill there, but still looking very confident. Says, oh no, I'll box you, no problem.
No, that's great though that they find that kill. We were talking at that moment about that 3-level lead that he still has. But getting that kill, not the person you wanted to take that kill, Odin, the support. But I think you're just happy to see him die. Gives you Huang chance to farm for a little bit. Didn't get much time because Disco's already back, but still, somebody got a bounty because she was 3-0 when that kill happened, and it was Odin that got that bounty.
Yeah, does get that, and I mean it is the Thorse of nature, you know. If I'm getting a kill on that team, I want it to be Thorse. He's just that guy. Do you
Mhm.
see a little bit of poke coming out? Discordia on the receiving end of it as well, and you know, still pretty considerable lead there. Not going to be anything too crazy. Do you see Thorse going for that double stacking build? How do you feel about that?
So the double stacking build is still pretty strong in my opinion. It still takes forever and a day to get online though, and that's what makes the build kind of feel pretty bad. Look at this double stun engage on this Kepri. Might be able to find this kill too. Never mind.
Does go ahead and use the Phantom Shell. Tired of dealing with all of that nonsense. You got 2 ults for me. Yeah, I got a relic for that.
And it's really good to see him already have that relic upgraded. But back to this double stacking thing. On Odin, I think this is a very good idea. Odin is not known for being the tankiest warrior in the world. He's going to be doing a lot of diving. He's probably going to be the initial engage on his team with, needing the cage. If they're not, playing defensively. So having that extra defense from the double stacking build is going to help him out. If he gets enough defense, he gets those middies off of prophetic cloak as well. Nobody's going to argue or cry about having mitigations in their build. So we'll
Yeah,
see if it's
do
a right
see
idea.
Brotaco playing with his life there,
Mm,
but going to be able to tank this out. Thanatos on the way, looking, to pick this up. Good blink,
nice.
good scythe, going to take that one down. Still going to be able to pick up the Gold Fury. Erlong also in a bit of trouble here. Scythe on the mark. Will he be able to get the chase out? Does pick it up off the back of Jet Forever's damage, and good, counter rotation there. Not able to get exactly what you want. Osiris on the mark, going to force the beads, and
Nice.
boom, Lanston there for a triple kill. Great turnaround for the Death Dealers. Get themselves a little bit of a gold lead off of that.
Hmm.
Do see them miss out on the Gold Fury, but not going to stop them at all.
That's fine. They're going to be able to get this beacon as well as that double kill, triple kill, I should say. Rotaco fell, and it was My Lanston that gets all three of those kills in that fight as well. So huge for him. But the best part about that whole engagement, I love the team play that we saw there from Death Dealers. My Lanston says, "Hey guys, I'm seeing a very low Kepri. They're doing Gold Fury. Come with me, and help me get this." And Jet Forever doesn't question it. Goes over there with him. He kills Brotaco. He uses the ult to pull um, Devin Frisco back towards his jungle. They eventually get that kill. It takes a little bit longer, but then here comes Osiris. He lands that ult and whittles the health bar of Likisto down low enough that Mylanson just dives on him and executes him. It's a perfect play from the Death Dealers. If they keep playing like that for the rest of this game, Death Dealers turn that slight edge that Bodega have into a full-on game win.
Yeah, definitely. Death Dealers able to get themselves a little bit of a lead here. Still seeing, pretty dominant performance from Arconic Prince in this mid lane, having pretty good lead there. Just continuing to keep that up. Looking for a little bit of a fight around this Bull Demon King. Have, the good old 3-on-3, couple more members joining. Everybody looking for a little bit. Discordia forced to use the Aegis there, not having too good of a time. Thanatos looking for a little bit of something, not able to find it. Arconic Prince able to get the trade with the golden apple. Erlong in a little bit of trouble. Great Yu Huang ult rips through the fight. However, Vamana is here and he is handing out some back shots. Nacho able to pick up Brotaco there. Great play like you were talking about in the pregame with Whoosh just going into the air when that Vamana ults. And Vamana's going to be walked down here, and that should just be a free Pyromancer for the
Yep.
Death Dealers.
And I love the horrific play there as well to make sure that Vomit doesn't just get to walk out of that. Use all your tools if you have them, and it's exactly what Death Dealers did there. Huge wraparound from the Odin, gets the start of that fight. Cage comes out. My Lanston doesn't get to survive that fight, but he does exactly what he needs to. He goes in, gets the kill on Arconic Prince, doesn't get to live much longer after that, but once the mid laner's gone, you've dealt with the major issue. Then Vaughn comes in kind of late, but it doesn't matter because everyone still has their ultimates. Boosh says, "Oh, you're hitting me? Well, no longer a problem. I'm up into the air now." And that's like you just said. It's what I was pointing out, and I think that Death Dealers just need to keep doing that. They figured out the problem and they addressed it.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, both of these games, Arconic Prince has really been that, win
He's that
condition
guy.
for Bodega Hive. We saw in game one with incredible tornadoes, incredible Spirit of the Nine Winds just ripping through team fights. So, having a jungler that's a little bit better at getting on top of him, I think was a really good decision. The Bologna, you're not really closing that distance too well. You have the ult, yeah, sure, but Thanatos able to just get right on top of you after you're already poked out a little bit, I think was a really good decision on their part.
Absolutely. And I think this also another thing that's coming out for me that I see Nacho is just playing this matchup way better. Game one, he just didn't. Well, he was up against the. No, he was up against the Vomit. I was right. Yeah, he's just playing this matchup way better. He's stepping up, taking fights the way he needs to. He's not falling back nearly as much. He's backing. He's getting his. He's on his timers. He's using his teleport, and being an actual presence in this game. Whereas in game one, he got rotated on once off of just a bad back timing, and kind of just played scared. He's not doing that in this game, and that's also helping him be more relevant because it's forcing Jungle Jimmy to do what he's doing now, split pushing, while Osiris is going over here to join his team.
Yeah, definitely don't mind the Vamana getting that farm. Death Dealers have a pretty decent advantage over there on that gold, so you're going to let it go ahead and go
Nice.
uncontested. Nice little bank shot going to pick up some damage on the Rama. Discordia forced to take that Kepri ult. Looking to trade out and gets Jet Forever, going to trade his life for that, but I don't think that's a bad call at all. You see Devin Frisco being a little back camp gremlin, taking away quite a bit of farm, and just looking to say, okay, well maybe we can't take the fight right now, but let me make sure we can stay in this game.
I gotta say, Arconic Prince is a demon in that moment. He says, "Oh, I've got the Kepri ult. Y'all don't want to hit me or kill me. Well, all right, Jet Forever. If you're gonna fall asleep at the wheel, I'm going to just go ahead and kill you now." And takes the opportunity to trade his life instead of just falling in that situation. Most mid laners, I honestly think, would just panic in that scenario, maybe run back towards the Kepri just to get dove again. But in that situation, he said, "No, I'm dead no matter what I do, but I'm not going down alone." So a massive play from him there to at least keep it as close to even as possible.
Yeah, definitely not even, does have that pretty substantial lead over Jet Forever, so not going to be quite as good as it could be, but definitely, mitigating your loss for sure.
Mm-hmm. That's sometimes that's all you can do. Him being 2 levels down, 0-3, 6 assists on this, so he's doing what he needs to. He's putting out damage. He's setting up some CC, and he's shredding prots with his 1 for his other players to just be the heroes in this game. It's not going to be as effective because, as we've already stated, he's behind, and that's the worst part. You need to be at level because you want these cooldowns, you want those jumps up as much as possible because this bombing is going to be running you down. But I don't think he's upset.
Go ahead and expend the dash there. Could be looking at a little bit of a fight, but an amazing strife comes out. Tons of damage forced out. Going to see everybody just kind of retreating from that. Osiris ulting out. Not going to be chased down too hard by this Erlong Shen. Odin just going to be able to walk away. He's double stacking. He doesn't take damage. It's not real.
Damage? What's that? Yeah, fully stacked Gauntlet of Thebes. 22 stacks on Prophetic. He's almost there. I imagine he's just missing out on some magical stacks more than anything because there's not a lot of easily targetable magical characters that he can get to without taking damage. Kepri, though.
Kepri taking a good amount of damage there. Still not able to quite find him to put him in a cage. Does have the Phantom Shell regardless, so not going to be the biggest of deals. Do see the cage come out there, just buying them some time to go ahead and secure that Pyromancer, and good play there, just saying, oh, you think we're going to fight you in that cage? No, that's just a distraction cage.
Mm-hmm. Sometimes that's all it takes. You just throw it out there and say, "Oh, hey, look at me, look at this thing. It's something you don't like," and then everyone sees it and goes, "Oh no, don't go over there." And perfectly played from him. And Rama, though, 1v1's not in his favor.
No, Erlong, pretty overwhelming favorite there. 2 snipes on the mark. Third is
what an ult!
Amazing Dueling Dragons countered out completely by the Scarab's Blessing. And so it's looking for a little bit of something.
Nice.
Still going to be able to find it on the back end, able to close that distance because he was in that execute threshold, gets that little extra speed boost. Still looking for more. Xbalanque getting those extra range autos with his ultimate, looking for something, but not going to find anything off the back of that. Bodega
That's
Hive still in a good position to go for this Oni Fury, though.
that is such a shame to see such an amazing Kepri ult come out there, perfectly timed with the dueling dragons going off, and it just doesn't matter. It makes me so sad because I know Rotaco is probably feeling pretty good about hitting that ult, just to see his jungle die anyways, and to see my Lanston go so deep and still get out. That's disappointing, but it's a good play from Death Dealers either way. They got the ultimate off of Rotaco. They got Devin Frisco dead, and they could have went for that Gold Fury, Bodega Hive, I mean, but they didn't take the opportunity. Instead, they take the map pressure and take down the last remaining tier 1. And vision on the side of the vision on the side of Death Dealers for the Oni Fury means that they're likely going to get this no contest.
Yeah, going to be able to pick that up no contest, but we see Bodega making a little bit of a heads-up play, rushing
Nice.
straight for that Fire Giant. Oh, you guys went over here? Well, that's cool. We're going to look for something over here. Going to push that Thanatos out. Do see the members of Death Dealers responding, in time. Not going to be too worried there. Bodega Hive look to make that heads up play, but getting caught out by Lanston there going to really stop their momentum.
They found the Odin a little too far up with his Osiris. Put some really good damage onto him. And by the way, this Odin is got some damage in his build. Love to see that. 20% CDR as well. He's working towards potentially 40.
Yep, Pridwin going to knock that up to 40, no issues.
He could go
Flat
Aaron
Shield,
Knight.
a little debatable. I mean, I'm still a huge enjoyer of that Relic Dagger in that spot instead.
Yeah.
Just being able to, get that blink up more often, get that horrific to help deal with that Erlong and Vamana damage. Not gonna be able to slow down the Vamana, but that the
Look at
damage
this.
reduction still activates.
Using
And
the Oni waves to their advantage. I'm sorry to cut you off there. They start grouping on this Fire Giant. I honestly thought they were about to start it, but they may actually use it to start a fight.
yeah, looking to start a fight here, but not able to find anything too crazy. Just gotta go ahead and back off there. Nothing really happening.
I was expecting way more. I was really hoping for an actual fight there, but looks like Death Dealers want to make the safe call. Welcome to semifinals, everybody. Get ready for a lot of safe calls, especially when they're down 1-0. They are grouping for this beacon, going to help them put some more damage on these T2s. Sets them up for future engagements as well. I love the planning that can go into this kind of objective on the map, and looks like Bodega Hive also want to be a part of it.
Yeah, looking for a little bit of something here. Do see Thanatos up in the air, looking for a little bit of something, but not going to be able to find anything. Golden Apple of Discord comes out, does some pretty good damage to Thor's, and looks like they had a
Wow.
decent chance on that beacon, but Bodega Hive able to kind of wear them off of it.
So much damage on their front line as well. Odin, the only one still here, didn't back. Rama takes so much poke, but Beacon does eventually go the way of Bodega Hive. So, that planning I was talking about. Oh, wait, there's a teleport from this Osiris.
Yeah, Osiris getting a bunch of damage on this Discordia. Do see the Scarab's Blessing come out, unfortunately not able to find that. Could have maybe even looked to go on the Kepri there. Tough call. A lot of low health bars, but not going to be able to quite commit there. Just going to say, okay, you got the beacon. We'll take the Pyromancer. We'll call that a win for us.
That's a really big re-engage from Death Dealers as well. They don't get any kills, but what they do manage to do, they force the shell out. Now an Odin cage comes back up here pretty soon. If they act quickly, they get to fight around that not being up. 50 seconds is how long they have. And Keprielt's on cooldown as well. So massive re-engage gets a lot off of Bodega Hive. Sometimes the best way to win a fight isn't necessarily just getting kills, especially when you know they have all these tools to avoid death.
Yeah, definitely. You don't have to get a kill. You don't have to get an objective to win a fight. You can whittle down the resources of your opponents, and Death Dealers do a pretty good job of it there. Osiris definitely was in the shop right there, had no clue what was going on until the Erlong showed up on his screen.
Asleep at
Got
the
caught
wheel.
shopping.
It's okay. Osiris Ult's going to be back up in a matter of probably 60 or 70 seconds. It's not a very long cooldown, but we've seen this game slow down so much now at this point. This is about the time last game where Bodega Hive were really rolling with their lead. We're 24 minutes in right now, Ruler, and it's only a 4K, 5K lead in favor of the Death Dealers. It's not a very massive lead. They're going to make it bigger with this Primal Fury. But where's the Fire Giant at? Where's the fight? Are we waiting? Is this like, are we looking for picks at this point? Is Death Dealers just not in a position where they feel like they want to fight, or are they just, do they want to find the definitive pick and then fight? What's going on, man?
They're definitely looking for their advantage before they look for this fight. Obviously, looking to find something here, looking to get some pretty decent damage on the
This is
Shablanca.
bad.
However, Osiris loses his entire health bar. Great pluck, great abduct from that Khepri into that Golden Apple of Discord, going to take Mr. Nacho off of this game, and that's the opportunity Bodega Hive needs to be able to start to look at this Fire Giant.
Yeah, just playing a little bit too loose there, got a little too far up, and now Thanatos is just very low.
Forced out as well, and that really should just be a Bodega Hive Fire Giant at this point.
I can't even.
In a really tough spot, blinked on by the Erlong, going to be able to get up into the air to get out of it, but they're just losing more and more resources here.
It's looking really bad for Death Dealers right now. Fire Giant's falling very low, and Bodega Hive do get that secure. The dive from the Disco Erlong is also very strong. Odin now stuck in a very bad position. Won't be much longer, I'd say.
Oh, great stun there for Rum. The Disco forces him to the gray screen. 5 members strong on Bodega. A lot of low health bars, but I think that Death Dealers really just needed to let that Fire Giant go. Had a decent chance of Flush stealing it with that, Astral Barrage. Wasn't quite able to get it to land on time, but, still not a lost game. Just going to have to play a little bit more defensively. Just a regular Fire Giant. Could see some defenses on these tier 2s. Not the end of the world.
Yeah, it's not the worst place to be. Death Dealers are still in a position to defend themselves fairly easily. They're 2K up still. But that's the problem that I have with that entire series of events. They were more than 2K up at an earlier point. They're sitting at about 5, maybe 6K after a Gold Fury play. And then it's just one massive misplay after another from Death Dealers, from single individuals that end up turning that one way more in the favor of Bodega Hive. They get the Fire Giant. They get the kills. Now we're in a situation where Death Dealers have to play defense, and Bodega Hive get to look at them and go, you're playing our game right now. You don't get to choose what happens next. We do, because we're the ones with the advantage. And that's just such a bad situation for Death Dealers to be in. It's kind of what got them caught up in a loss last game, but they're going to take advantage of something on the map.
Yeah, Death Dealers certainly not too worried about that, Fire Giant buff. Obviously does a little bit of something, but not the most worried about that. Vamana in a really tough spot here.
Wow.
Great Odin Cage comes out, cancels the ult a little bit too early. Gets caught by that and the Thanatos ult. Erlong incredibly low here on the back end. Jet Forever picks up his first kill of the game. Still looking strong. Which team has the Fire Giant? Tough to tell right now with the way this fight is going. Relic's forced out of Discordia. Still falling lower, still running away. Flush picks up one. Nacho picks up another. Xbalanque, the last member of his team, getting ran down under this tier 2 tower.
Okay.
Tower is going to fall. Phoenix is going to fall. They could even look for an end call here. Sure, there are 2 towers up, but they have a bomb. They're looking for this. They're hungry for the win, and they're going to go for the end. And it's super reasonable. 20 seconds until Jungle Jimmy. That's just a win for them.
Yeah, close this one out quickly, because somehow you managed to make Bodega Hive look like the fools after getting a Fire Giant play. Great job from them. Jungle Jimmy just gets a little bit too far up there in the jungle, and from what I could tell, it looked like he canceled his ultimate,
He canceled it too early, and then he got trapped by the cage.
Yeah, so Thor's just cages him in and just kills him, and it's just a run it down team from Death Dealer's call. And the worst part about that last fight, Khepri died with ult up. Yep. If you're going to die, even if you ult yourself, just extend that fight a little bit longer. You may get your team out. Little bit of that's again, the massive misplays from Death Dealers get turned around, and it's massive misplays from Bodega Hive. If that's what it's going to take to win this set, massive misplays, then I hope there are none in the next game. I don't want to see this set go down to massive misplays from one team or the other.
I mean, that's what it has to be, though. These teams are pretty evenly matched. We've seen them play a couple of times already. I think that they've traded some wins back and forth.
Yeah,
Hasn't been dominant either way. So it does take those small mistakes that compound into bigger ones to take
that's
this
fair.
out. And Death Dealers capitalize on just a couple of small mistakes there to bring this to a game number 3.
And I'm very glad that they bring it to a game number 3. I mean, if this is the second seed versus the third seed, these guys definitely need to make it look like that. And they definitely have done a good job of that. Both these games have gone just under or over 30 minutes. They both played very well. Their drafts have looked very strong. If they keep this up, game 3 is going to be a banger of a set, and I'm excited for it.
Yeah, definitely going to be good. Unfortunately, we do have to take a little bit of a break here while we wait for game number 3. Hopefully, you guys can stick around and meet us in just a couple minutes. And welcome back, everybody. Got two exciting games down. Time for this game number three, going to be the deciding factor on who's going to finals for these two Canes teams. I am still Ruler, still joined by Freaky with Salty on the cams. How are we feeling after that game, too?
Much better. This is a way better look from Death Dealers. And as I was saying at the end of that last game, this is not coming down to picks and bans anymore. This is coming down to misplays being taken advantage of. And Bodega Hive are taking a step towards fixing some of that by getting rid of this Osiris pick. We were screaming in game one about get rid of the Vom, and Death Dealers said, no, we don't need to. We have a plan for that. And they used the tools that they drafted and actually managed to take care of the issue. Now Bodega Hive's turn, they need to address some issues, and they just address it by getting rid of one of their problems right off the bat.
Yeah, the Osiris, Nacho played it both games, looked pretty comfortable on it both times. Gonna have to make him go back to the drawing board. I know he is still a pretty big Bologna player, so might just see that come out instead and taking their time thinking about this ban. Probably thinking whether or not they ban the Thor's Odin. Definitely is one of the most comfortable picks we've seen him on this season. That Ares, that Odin loves those aggressive picks, and they're gonna go right for it. It's like they
Yeah,
were listening or something. Just immediately right for that Odin and using, their unofficial fourth ban on that Agni. Gonna take that away from Jet forever. Not gonna let him have his signature pick.
I do like this plan from Bodega Hive. They've been top picking the Erlong Shen. I was going to mention that. And now I get a chance to really kind of think about what's going on with this because this top pick Erlong Shen has been good for them. Devin Frisco has been looking very good on it, but now Death Dealers have the option to take it. Hachiman also has been getting banned by Bodega Hive, but with the changes to the ban, they now get Hachiman and Vomit in selection. Odin's not in this game anymore. Not that he was the reason that this Vomit was having so much trouble, but this is much better for Death Dealers, though. They took the slightly weaker addition of Osiris into the game, got it taken away from them, and said, okay, well, now you have to make certain decisions that don't necessarily go in your favor. And they pick up Vomit in place of what they were already running. I love what Death Dealers have done here.
Yeah, definitely. Hachi still kind of does everything you want. The mana just I think is the best solo right now.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, going to be a little bit worse in the early game compared to your Bologna, compared to your Osiris. So definitely, not the strongest early game, but one of the strongest late games. And Kali, one of these assassins that abuses that Equinox. You get so much extra damage off of that. Just blink, stun, all of a sudden your entire health bar is gone. You have to run away from me because I'm Kali and ult, and you can't run away because I do more damage. However, do you see a nice counter pick from this Owilix? Kali leap on her leap as well as Vamana knockup gives them a lot to be able to get done with that Owilix.
I love both these jungle picks here. I love the speed from Death Dealers as well to go, oh, you have two picks that are easily countered by something. We're going to grab it now. We aren't going to take the chance of you banning away this pick from us. My Lanson also plays a really good Awilix. Bodega Hive, they pick a really strong pick here in this Kali. Kali definitely is going to swing her way back into this meta with this new Equinox item. But you have to worry about this counter pick. I would not be surprised if we see a lot of early and mid game defensive ults from this Kali if she mistakenly jumps in, or even worse, ults down and she jumps out for her safety. Now you're just dead because there's an Awilix. What I have an issue with, though, for sure, not really too keen on this on her pickup from Bodega Hive. It is a good ADC and it has performed in past, but my issue with it is Vomit does not care. He will just run at you. He will just take care of those issues.
Yeah, I mean, doesn't match up the best into the Vamana, but still just very strong. And if I know Licasto, he likes to have fun in the lane. Obviously, very very strong player, deserving of being, what are they, the number 2 seed, number 3 seed Bodega. No, they're definitely up there. I know they're one of those two. So he's very strong there, and I'm sure he wants to make his impact in this game number three.
For sure. Licasto hasn't had, well, hold on. Licasto had a very good game on the X Ball in game one, had a pretty good game on it in game two as well. Probably not the performance he was wanting to have, but obviously we want to win. But I don't think he's upset getting this on her. I do still think it has its issues now, especially with what was picked on Death Dealers. But I do also think Licasto is a smart enough player and a good enough player to work around those difficulties. This Chonga pick from Death Dealers is a very interesting pick, but a very good one in my opinion. I think the changes to itemization has really brought this pick up to the forefront of the mid lane meta.
Yeah, it's definitely an interesting pick, but I don't think it's a bad pick. You know, you have a little bit of self peel to help deal with this Kali. You know, you have the the just oh yeah, I'm gonna just waxing moon through your whole team so you're all stunned for a year. So
Mm-hmm.
definitely think that that's a pretty good one, and it also fits kind of well with their battle plan. You know, that's a pretty aggressive team. You know, Hachi's able to get that mounted archery in. Vamana's just looking to get in there, go into that colossal fury. So could definitely see them just kind of running it down as 5.
This is a very interesting hover from Death Dealers. If they lock this in, I'll be very surprised. But
Why? It hard counters Kali.
no, it
It
does.
obliterates Kali. You just
It
mez
does.
or you just ult. It's free.
But let me, let me at least give me my reasons why. If they lock the Kumba in, I won't be surprised as much as most people probably would be, because it is a strong counter. Best way to deal with these attack speed ADCs, crowd control. Just deal with it. Oh, you're gonna jump in, you're now mezzed. You're gonna try and jump away, you're rooted. You can't ult because you're mezzed. If I don't root you, I can send you up into the air. I can do whatever I need to. It's a great counter to Kali. You're right, but it's still Kumba, and it still has early game problems where you don't really clear as well as some of these other supports. Ganeshi does out clear though. It also brings some pressure, but it also loses some pressure because you're really relying on your team to follow up on you just like any other support. But you can also really mess up an engagement if you misplay it. This Athena though is a little bit better, but not really as good as I would like. I want to see a Geb. That's what I'm trying to say. I want to see a Geb over these other two.
I just don't think that Geb really meshes well with the style we've seen Thor, you know,
True.
prosper in. You know, that Ganesha, sure, it looked okay, but it's just not what he wants to run in. You can tell. You know, he wants to be aggressive, and that's Athena gives him the option to do that. You know, oh, we're going in. Yeah, I'm gonna Defender of Olympus this Vamana. So now he's ridiculously tanky. He's moving faster, and I'm there to give him taunts back. So definitely don't think that's a bad pick at all. It gives them, the ability to kind of split the map at the same time. Oh yeah, that's cool. I can just ult over to where I need to be. So definitely think that's maybe a little bit better for his playstyle than the Kumba,
Oh
but
yeah.
much less of a counter pickup.
I do think this Athena just kind of really is a Thor's pick. It allows him to be aggressive in the right scenarios and allows him to be defensive in the right scenarios. And again, CC is what kills Kali. If you taunt her as soon as she jumps in, that's like 3.5 seconds that she has no opportunity to react unless you pop beads. And if you see her pop beads, everyone just kind of moves away from the initial issue. And again, Athena has a slow in her kit. There's tools for this Athena, so I don't think it's a bad pick for sure. And I agree, Geb is not really the thing that I think Thor's is known for playing, so it's not unreasonable to see him not go towards it, um, regardless of how good or bad it may be in Death Dealer's comp. What I will say though, for sure, Bodega Hive's composition has some strong tools as well. But what I'm kind of starting to notice is I think Kali is going to be the progenitor of their comp. They go for this Sun Wukong, they go for this Ganesh. Agni's going to pump damage out, obviously. That's what he's going to do. But it seems like they're really relying on Devin Frisco to be the linchpin of their composition here.
Yeah, definitely have some good options to, poke some people out to make that Kali pop towards the end of those team fights. Definitely going to come down to execution. I don't think that, these teams are necessarily right or wrong. I think that they both have some pretty good opportunities. So only time will tell if that Vamana gives them enough along with the jump out of that Kali and on her to make this a Wilix pick, function properly. So going to be exciting to see how that works out.
We didn't really go over it very much either, but all of the attack speed warriors except for Osiris make it through, and they actually still opt to put Jungle Jimmy on the Wukong rather than putting him on the Bellona or the Erlong or God forbid, even maybe a Gilgamesh, something that's still fairly tanky, has hard dive. Do you think that might be, instead of trying to put him on something that has kill presence, oh well, let's just put him on a facilitator style. He can go in, be harassing, and maybe even get a kill or a cleanup if he needs to, rather than putting him on something that's just a hard aggress on a warrior.
I think that you kind of nail it on the head there. Looking for something to help facilitate this Kali, they have a lot to do that. You have the on her, you have the Agni for poke, you have the Dharmic pillars. Getting a Sun Wukong there to burn a bunch of relics, burn a bunch of cooldowns like leaps and whatnot, burn a bunch of dashes,
Mm-hmm.
and just allow Devin Frisco to go crazy at the back of these fights, I think is really going to be a good opportunity for them.
And I like it for sure. You're not getting that Equinox value anymore. That item is just so good, but you can also play around that item. What a start to this one, though. Chang'e taking damage, but also dishing it back out to Agni before Kali even gets there. And I expect that's what we're going to see from most of this game, though.
Yeah, Nacho with a pretty big advantage over here on the solo lane health bar front, getting what he can off. Going to look to fight over this totem, going to go ahead and secure that for his team, get that extra 125 gold for the squad. And yeah, nothing too crazy going on.
Yeah, this Vaughn should definitely have the early game hand in this lane. Just being able to trade out with the Wukong is going to be so helpful. But once it gets to that, ooh, hold on. Oh, never mind. Ooh, no, Agni falling low. Wow.
Yeah, first blood going to go to my Lanston off of just a great engage there. Holds that feather step for quite a long time. Not quite able to get the feather step off. I don't think he had enough mana for the ability there. That's a tough one. Great blink knockup, just doesn't quite have the mana to follow through on that kill, but nice early lead there, and Kali behind early is not what you want. You want to just be kind of turbo farming. And another thing that has just come to my attention, there's no teleport on the Sun Wukong. That is a horrific first relic.
That is, in fact, a horrific first relic, and
And he's
likely
dead.
a dead. Wow, Nacho gonna be able to trade it out at least. Yeah, good job. I mean, yeah, that's interesting to see that he doesn't go the teleport, but Wukong has bird form. He can get back into lane pretty quick, but it's still an interesting decision from him.
Ooh, Ganesha in a really tough
Wow.
spot. Great dash from the Hachi, going to bring him, to the brink. Not quite going to pick up that kill, but forcing them back as we see Jet Forever taking the opportunity to rotate over towards these buffs, and that is a great invade call. Good for them to continue pushing this lead, grabbing themselves some extra camps here. That's going to be a pretty big one.
Yeah, I take back what I said about Thors. I didn't really say anything bad. Never will either. That guy is just ridiculous in this role. But yeah, the Athena pick works out really well here. He's just pressuring very well. He's zoning very well, pulling in targets, body blocking dashes. They almost kill Brotaco by body blocking his dash out. Unfortunately, minions do some more body blocking for Brotaco as well to get out of that situation. But I mean, a TKO is still a win in your books, and that's what allows them to get that invade. Brotaco can't stick around for that. He has to back, and that just forces him to leave, or forces him to watch as his camps get taken. What is going on in mid?
Amazing gank comes out. Both ultimates expended to go ahead and grab that one. Kali looking for a little bit of something, forced to ult away. My Lanston doing so much damage with that 2-level lead. Already has that Jotuns finished, and Devin Frisco is not looking too strong in this early game. Going to be a struggle for him to scale up.
I mean, he doesn't even have the Equinox finish. It's a tough start. It's always a tough start with this Kali. You're either getting that first blood right off the rip from good team play, or you're probably trying to, as you said, turbo farm. And when all the farm's down on the map, you're just kind of just sitting and waiting. Level 5, so at least had that ult to get out of that situation so he doesn't die with his mid laner. But the TKO still counts for something, and that just means Awilix gets to continue farming and getting these neutral camps.
Yeah, exactly. these knockouts, you don't have to get these kills, and that's what a lot of the lower end teams, especially the Walker teams, don't understand. You don't have to get a kill. You don't have to turbo commit to all of these calls. If you can just force somebody out, you can get a big lead.
Yep.
Fuush didn't get a kill on Likisto, but he's a level and a half up because they forced him out and they took those buffs. So I think that's got to be something that some people are a little bit more mindful of.
As I scan over these builds real quick, I noticed the Wukong's first item here. He's not going to be going into any defense or cooldown or anything.
Nope,
He
Rune
starts,
Forge Hammer.
yep, gonna go straight into Rune Forge, and he starts off with that Bluestone Pendant as well. I can't help but feel like that's somewhat of a hindrance in his early game, but then again, he was the one who got the first kill over there, so what do I know? So fight breaks out over here.
Yeah, Beats forced out of the on her, going to give him enough time to finish his jump, not get pulled by that Awilix. Ult does get expended, hoping for it, but not finding it. Good dash away from Arconic Prince, gets him out of danger. Bodega Hive going to pick up the Bull Demon. They trade their back camps for it. They trade that purple and that green buff. So not a total loss for either team.
Whoa. Okay, Agni getting dove under tower.
Beats forced. Really good play from Arconic Prince there to make sure he turns around to not get knocked up by that Awilix 3. Good heads up play from him, knowing the enemy gods and saying, oh no, I'm not turning my back on an Awilix looking for a knockup.
Yeah, gotta just how you have to play that one. At least that's the easiest way to counter that one, right? You can't knock me up if I'm just looking right at you, but it comes with its own issues. We'll see later
That's what you'd like to believe until it just doesn't work and he hits you from the side and it just knocks you up anyway.
Yeah, that feels bad.
Jet. Oh, okay. He wanted to change it first. I understand.
Yeah. So Thor's has actually looked really good in this entire set. Even in game one on the Ganesh, I think he looked fantastic. Had really good ults. Played around his team really well. As is usual with Thor's, I don't think he ever really has a quote unquote bad game, but that's yet to be seen.
Yeah.
Putting him back on this Athena pick.
Quite a bit of aggression coming out. Nacho doing fantastic job of applying pressure in this lane. Showing up quite low, looking to get ran down by this Kali. Going to go ahead and back off there. Dark Pillars used to great effect, but not enough to get a kill here. Jet Forever uses the beads, uses the 2, and is able to waltz his way out of danger.
But what I was going to say is Thor keeps opting for this double stacking build that we've seen him do in this entire set, probably almost the entire season. I don't think I've seen him on a pick that he doesn't do that in. He didn't do it on Ganesh, actually. I forgot about that because stacking Prophetic on Ganesh is kind of difficult. And you don't want to worry about having to stack twice whenever you want to just have cooldown in your build. But
ooh, Mr. Nacho might be in a little bit of danger here, looking for the 1v1. However, Bodega Hive will not respect his wishes on that 1v1. Looking to chase him down. Losing a little bit of health, is under that tower, going to be able to get himself out though. Colossal Fury just enough to help him escape there, and we see Death Dealers again on the cooldowns over here, making sure to shut Likisto out of this game.
2-level difference, and with all those people on that side of the map, yeah, you get Bull Demon, but you get Gold Fury now.
Yeah, just great macro play from the Death Dealers. They have their advantage. They say, okay, yeah, we're winning over here in duo, so we're just going to keep doing that. Great play from my Lanston, just going to run him down. Obviously, on her 3 levels down, not going to be the tankiest boy. Just gets ran down by Lanston, going to go ahead and pick that one up. Great Athena ult on top of this Vamana ult. Colossal Fury with the Defender of Olympus is going to take Jungle Jimmy to the gray screen. Nowhere near enough time to go ahead and knock up into that Somersault Cloud.
It just continues it just keeps going on and on with these the Death Dealers. It's consistent, very consistent. They keep going to the left side of the map, making a play, and Bodega have tried to take down the Vom, and they want to help Jungle Jimmy out as much as they can. And not only do they not kill Nacho, you do get Bull Demon. That's like the only consolation prize that you gain from that. But you gave up Gold Fury pre 10 minutes. That is a massive objective to pick up. pre-10 minutes. It's so much golden XP at this point in the game, and it's showing very easily. 11, 11, 11, 10, and 11. Everyone on Death Dealers is up. Is an even matchup in mid lane, but otherwise, Death Dealers are on top right now, through and through.
Yeah, Death Dealer's certainly looking good here. Obviously, racking up a 4,000 gold lead or so in this first 10 minutes. Thor's just being annoying on purpose. He has that prophetic. I'm just going to walk at you and hit you, and I'll do it again, and I'll do it again.
Might be a chance
Probably
to turn it around.
For a lot of damage onto this Chung. Leaf is good. Dharmic Pillar's doing a lot of work there, but not quite able to get it. Good taunt back by Thors. However, a lot of low health bars here. Someone's going to have to pay. Thors pays the price. Still marching forward. Great shifting sands there, going to pick themselves up another kill. Jet Forever able to live with his life. However, Vamana is here and he is angry. You killed my team. You guys are going to have to pay the price. A lot of low health bars. Just turns that completely. Goes from a pretty tough fight, you know, a 2-for-1 into a 2-for-2. No problem. Ganesha loses quite a bit of health there too. This Vamana is just a nightmare to deal with that Frostbound and Equinox.
Yeah, Thor's
Those aren't your buffs.
Care.
Those aren't your buffs. I'm sorry. Those just are not yours. Going to go ahead and get picked up by Mr. Nacho, keeping the theme alive of you can't have that purple or green buff.
Yeah, still 2 levels down in ADC. It's such a feels bad right now for Likisto, and I'm sure he is just having a fantastic time with it as well. Just loves what's going on his side of the map. As great rotation from Death Dealers, that teleporter came into play there as well for the solo rotations. Yet to be seen. Bull Demon getting pulled solo by Kali, that won't last very long as Death Dealers show up to take care of that issue. But I think Thor's
looks like we might see a little bit of something coming out over here, certainly posturing for it, but going to disperse into this mid lane. Thor's just continuing to look for fights because he wants to stack his prophetic.
And I mean, look at the level difference in support. This is whenever you get to really realize where a lead is garnishing and how good a team is doing in their fights and in their initial early and mid is when the support levels are such a big difference. I mean, Thors is just getting active and getting involved, and so is Brotaco, but it's just not been enough for Brotaco. He's 3 levels down on his enemy support. It's so hard to farm up whenever you're in that role too.
Oh, there's a Vamana here. Oh, yikes. Going to be a good opportunity for Jungle Jimmy to grab himself some farm. Beacon goes down in the wave of Death Dealers, not going to be able to do too much there. Jet Forever, honestly, a pretty crucial member here, keeping his team topped up, making sure they can continue to fight with those Chang'e heals.
Yeah, he's going to be a pretty big deal in late game too. He's going to keep his carry and support healed up. He's going to be able to help his team do more damage. If Jungle Jimmy dives the back line, that passive is going to come in such handy later on. Love the discipline there from Mylanson not to pull Ganesh in. Just wants to hold that ultimate for an actual team fight rather than burning it now, which could come up pretty soon.
Is just taking a 2v1 and he's just doing just fine. Great beads comes out. However, the Defender of Olympus again on top of this Colossal Fury going to pick up that kill. However, the tower is going to pick up one of its own, giving it over to Archonic Prince, who does fall under this tower. Well, looks looking for something, but the tower. No, there's a Kali though. There's a Kali. Good return from Bodega. Death Dealers get a little bit too big for their britches. Dive that tier 1 for a long time and does not go well for them.
Once again, just capitalizing on a massive mistake. You lost Archonic Prince in that one. I think Likisto actually got soloed over there in my lane. Just realized he came off.
He didn't get soloed. He got ran down under tower.
That's right. Yeah. Completely forgot about that. I pay attention, people. I promise. But no, it's just another mistake from Death Dealers. There's no reason to dive that Ganesh that hard. I understand his health bar is low, but when the tower's doing that much work, you lost Mr. Nacho, you lose Thors, and my Lanston falls to Kali as well towards the end of that. That's not how you want to go about it. It just seemed like it was an overstay and a half from Death Dealers there.
Yeah, it does give Devin Frisco a good chance to get back into this game. Now 3-0 on this Kali with a little bit of an XP lead over his counterpart, so definitely not what you want to see if you are on the Death Dealers. Don't want this Kali getting any bigger than they need to.
Yeah, Kali able to catch up massively in that situation as well. Gets the kill onto My Lanston, who was 5-0 at the time, so that's a pretty big shutdown. Only a level, well, I say only, let me rephrase that. He is a level up now rather than being down. So all that farm that he grabbed on the right side of the map and getting that kill and shutdown turns up pretty huge. But you're probably not too worried about it on a Wheelix because, I mean, you're still going to do the same thing being a level down, right?
Yeah, not the biggest thing in the world. I mean, it takes away a little bit of your kill potential. You know, not going to do quite as much burst damage, especially with stacking this Transcendence now, going to delay that power spike quite a bit. Ganesha nice and poked out there. Good start to that fight.
Oh!
However, Arconic Prince just dumping out damage.
It's such a shame that the 3-man stun didn't get followed up on except by one Agni Bomb. That's unfortunate. There could have been a lot of potential to come back with something there, but they'll take what they get. And that's another ult.
Are dropped. Chang'e in a bit of danger here. Going to just continue to get ran at. Great two-man waxing moon. Lanston able to save his mid laner, going to pick Kali up off the back, execute with that ult, and running under this tower again. Guys, please be careful. Going to work out a little bit better for him this time. No, it's not. Still going to lose 2 to the tower. Hey, at least we take down the tower. Not gonna die under the tier 1 again. Great beads comes out from Lickastow, doing his best. However, that Agni Bomb is going to do way too much damage. Great shifting sands allows them to go ahead and pick up Whoosh there, and that's just a tough one, you know. Doesn't work out in anybody's favor too much. Death Dealers maybe a little bit better on the end of that, but not too great of a fight for either team.
Yeah, that one was a little bit odd, I think, from Death Dealers. They tried to make a play happen there and got forced into a Ganesh ult that just started it off really well for them. And it's like I said, just that's how they're winning these games. Bodega Hive capitalizing on mistakes, and they're on gods that can very easily capitalize on mistakes. If it keeps going like this, Death Dealers are going to have to change their strategy a little bit.
Yeah, definitely, you know, not getting quite as much as they might like off of these fights. Still not going poorly for them. Do you see this Kali looking for a little bit of something? Thor's probably like, yeah, but I got some prophetic stacks. Do you see the beads forced off of the Kali? They're going to have to be really careful now with Lanston lurking around. Single Willix pull should just take him down pretty instantly.
Love that we're seeing this beacon fight start out so strong, but with that Vominal being down, means that Bodega Hive may have potential to try and find something here. What a push from that.
Yeah, find something indeed. Kali ult used. Jungle Jimmy going to pick up that one. And just a great Dark Pillars. Good job from Bodega waiting around that corner until it was time. And just an amazing fight from Bodega in general. Arconic Prince picking that one up. 3 for none, and that's going to be an Oni for them. And this game is completely back to even.
Death Dealers are playing a very easy way to play the game. They noticed that Nacho didn't have the ult. Jet Forever gets caught on an impale into the wall from Lickastow, who earlier on was 2 levels down. Now not a problem for him. He's right where he needs to be again. And Death Dealers get completely punished once again. And you don't need to worry about the macro play too much when you can just make plays like that if you're Bodega Hive.
I mean, that was really good macro play from Bodega Hive. They said, all right, yeah, they just took the beacon. They're going to rotate over to this Gold Fury, and they were just waiting there for the opportunity. 3 people walked in, 4 people walked in, boom, Dharmic Pillars, and now we have an Agni raining down. We have Jungle Jimmy getting that Rune Forge passes on the ground, so they're taking extra damage. We have a Kali running in to grab them. It was just a really good play from them to say, yeah, we know what you're going to do, so we're going to go ahead and counter it.
Yeah. So, yeah, actually then, good macro play from Bodega Hive, and it's just going to continue. They're going to go for this Pyromancer. They're very comfortable to take this one as well. Athena going to taunt. what else
Yeah.
can you do?
Looking for a
Oh,
little bit of something, but going to find himself on the gray screen instead, and that's the problem with Athena. You know, you're walking up, your dash takes a long time to channel, and you're just not going to get any value there. And now we're still looking for a little bit of this fight. Nacho looking for something, but 4 against 5 isn't where you want to be. You know, want to just kind of calm down. You know, Thor's is going to be up pretty
oh
soon. Oh,
no.
Willick's caught out. Yeah, this is the problem. They're just kind of walking in one at a time, and Bodega is going to punish that. Every time it happens, they're going to punish that. One person walks up, we're just going to throw a bunch of CC at you. We have this Ganesha to silence you, make sure you're not going anywhere, and able to just capitalize and just allow Arconic Prince to just throw damage through these fights.
Well, they find the Chang'e behind, and it could turn into even more for Bodega Hive.
Yeah, still putting out a ton. Thor's ult's back in. Chang'e incredibly low. Jungle Jimmy on the chase. Tiger Stun on the mark. Not quite going to be able to take it out. Those minions got so close. Nacho on the back end still putting in a ton of work. Fight not going quite the way we envisioned. Agni going to fall. Arconic Prince down in what looked like a really awkward engagement for Death Dealers, able to just live by the skin of their teeth there, able to get themselves 4 picks in what's going to be a 21-minute fire giant.
Yeah, turn it around. If that's what it takes. Chang'e's positioning was very questionable, but it's not questionable enough when you know you've got an Athena ult burying its way over to that side of the map. Devin
Exactly.
Frisco doesn't look like he's going to step up for this one. Death Dealer's picking up this fire giant here. Big deal for them, and what a turnaround.
Yeah, definitely. You know, the Chang'e just being a vessel for that Athena has both relics to use to kind of extend that, able to get themselves out of danger. Game, you know, not too far off, you know, still seeing, you know, towers for both teams. So could see Death Dealers turn that into a little bit more, you know, knock down these tier 2 towers, but with any luck, we've seen how they fight under towers. Might just go the way of Bodega Hive on those defenses.
Yeah, the Bodega Hive have a pretty decent defensive composition as well, with Dharmic Pillars and Agni Bombs. Actually, don't know what those are called. Isn't it like
Rainfire.
Meteor? Rainfire? Okay. Yeah, with Rainfire. Aside from that, though, poke ability is going to be the name of the game on these defenses, and Bodega Hive have a lot of that. But when you have a Chang'e, are you really concerned about poke? You can kind of just sit back and heal up, right?
Yeah, you have the fire giant giving you a little extra sustain. You have the Chang'e. You have, you know, pretty decent ways to keep yourselves not too worried about it. Obviously, you know, Agni bombs could turn into something more. You know, Dark Pillars goes down, you get hit by a couple of those rain fires, and all of a sudden, you know, you're missing 3/4 of your health. You
Mm-hmm.
see Death Dealers making sure they're getting a lot done with this fire giant. Bodega not really looking to aggress here, so Beacon goes the way of Death Dealers. Primal's going to go the way, and now that they're grouped up, they're going to look for some aggression on these towers.
Yeah, both of the side laners of Death Dealers have hit level 20 now, so a lot of damage from ADC and pretty healthy vomit on the side of Death Dealers as well. So that's always helpful. Taking down these T2s should be no problem. They're all very low health with the help of the beacon, of course. Looks like a slight defense though from Bodega Hive.
Looking for a
Oh,
defense and a ton of damage off the back of, like we were talking about, that those Dharmic Pillars into those rain fires. Still looking to poke them down, but looks like they are going to be able to get themselves out. Unfortunate for bird form from Sun Wukong. Not going to be able to catch the Vamana. Whoosh instead pays for his with his life, but going to be able to, you know, retreat pretty decently. But I think they're going to have to give up this mid tier 2. Still going to be able to keep their Phoenix for sure, but mid tier 2 going to go ahead and fall. And good play from Bodega, like we were talking about, using their tools. They have that Dharma Pillars, they have those Rain Fires to just, you know, absolutely chunk you down after you're missing those protections. So great play from them.
yeah, you find a kill on the carry, you get a tier 2. It's a great day for Bodega Hive in that very moment. Great moment, I should say. And they're chasing them down in mid, which I find very peculiar because you're down a man still. especially when you're down your ADC, the guy you need for these objectives. But they mainly just get the ability to back off Bodega Hive and take this last T2. Might have to use a bomb. They have one in their pocket, but they
No,
have a
they're not using
Pyromancer
it.
that they can go back for. No, they're not. They're not.
Oh.
But what I love about that play from Bodega Hive is they use their tools, sure, but it's kind of a hero play as well. Arcanic Prince got a 5-man stun on a Rainfire Noxious Fumes combo. That's huge. That causes everyone from Death Dealers to go, oh, back up. Oh no, we made a mistake. And it's almost a panic at the initial disengage that allows Death Dealers to run forward. And yeah, that's the bird form. Oh, that sucks. But I mean, you still killed Foosh. You slowed down any more objective potential for the moment from Death Dealers. Great job.
I mean, Death Dealers weren't looking for anything more than they got, so doesn't do too much there. They're not looking for a Phoenix at that point. You know, they're not really looking for the fight. They were just looking at, yeah, we're gonna knock these down, extend that gold lead a little bit, and get ourselves in a good spot for the next fire giant.
They did also manage to open up the map for themselves. It's always nice when you can find a tower, and especially a tier 2. So now when the fire giant plays come around, you have to fall back to this solo lane tier 2 tower, which is not as safe as the tier 2 in mid. So that's always nice. You like getting these the gold and XP, and map pressure is always going to be a thumbs up, you know.
Yeah, it definitely gets them a little bit of pressure. Fire giant going to be spawning in the next couple of seconds, so going to see the entire, lobby start to rotate over towards that. Going to be able to get themselves in there. Already looking to pull it, have the Swamano zoning out pretty far, but, not really looking to commit on that. Kali dashes in, loses a little bit of health there. Vamana also on the receiving end of some damage, so nothing too crazy there. Defender of Olympus used, looking to save Nacho in case he was going to continue to get aggressed on, but she's going to knock that cooldown down, and still, not the greatest position for either of these teams. Nacho going to be able to get himself back with that TP on the back end, going to find himself a Kali. However, there are other members here. Colossal Fury is used, however, he's getting shredded down. Lickasto going to be credited for that one. I think he fell to the Charming Pillars. Kali going to fall, though, even through the ult, not able to do quite enough. Somersault Cloud used to buy a little bit of time, but not going to be able to go in as much as they might like. Good taunt in, going to put Jungle Jimmy to the gray screen, going to take his life away. Still looking for more. 1 for 2 there. Nacho puts in ton of work with that Colossal Fury, not able to quite finish it off. Ganesha pretty low over here, however, Athena still aggressive, looking for more, not able to find it. Great rain fires,
oh my
still
gosh,
on it. And that is going to be 2 kills there. Only one left is Arcanic Prince, and tough position to be in. Going to be able to go ahead and pick up that fire. Do have that Chang'e to continue to give them some sustain. Unless we're taking a break. Gotta go ahead and send out for an item. I know what it is. It's just like funny. I'm just gonna take a nap right here for a second. This fire giant going to be uncontested. Arcanic Prince isn't gonna step up to this. He knows better. He's gonna think about it and then decide better of it. My red buff looks pretty nice. The fire giant not so much.
Man,
Death Dealers knock down the fire giant. Looking at a beacon, looking at Oni, and they're in an incredible spot on the map.
Yeah, incredible spot for sure. I love the way they're gonna manage the map here too. Get all these neutral objectives off the map. It's not an EFG, so sieging a Phoenix is not the easiest thing in the world, and you're not going to be able to do it whenever time comes because Lickasto's up now. It's a 5v5, even on a weakened Phoenix. And I gotta say, man, Thorse is living up to his namesake as the Thorse of nature. He's getting these taunts. He's got that 40% CDR in his build now. Picked up that Breastplate of Valor rather than the Prude Win. Makes sense, though. I think it's just a better overall for him. And, yeah, he just goes in and gets a taunt, waits a few more seconds, goes in, gets another taunt. I mean, we're on a 10-second cooldown for these things, and he's just getting them on cooldown. He is picking them up on cooldown.
Yeah, we do see a nice little strategy for one split. Nacho does have that bomb, so should be able to kind of brute force that Phoenix down. looking for a little something. Kali actually, shredding him down pretty well, obviously. Kali, known for the shred potential. Ultimate forced out there. Colossal Fury still wailing down.
Wow.
And that is the problem with that. Thor's going to look for a little bit of something there. Not quite able to find it. However, Reach Auto very nearly kills, but not going to be able to find too much on either side. Bird does go down on the right side finally. Both bombs expended from Nacho and Thor's.
Ladies
They
and
crack the
gentlemen,
base.
Equinox on Vomit. That's how he lives that. That is crazy. That's what we've been saying since game one. God is just cracked with this new item and shows it right there. Cracks open the base as well. And they may look for one in
he's
mid.
Looking for blood yet again. Going to force Arconic Prince out a little bit. Takes a bunch of damage, and he's going to go ahead and fall there. Devin Frisco credited with the kill. Going to find themselves one of their own. However, Phoenix cleans up my Lanston. Still not looking too great. Devin Frisco going to fall to Jet Forever. This Phoenix should go ahead and fall. Still got to be a little bit careful. Arconic Prince is here. Darwin Pillars are used to shred some prots, get some distance, and it looks like this Phoenix might stand for a little bit longer.
Good zoning coming out from Bodega Hive, but that taunt onto Agni could be problems.
Gets themselves some distance, going to blink down this Phoenix a little bit, but not quite able to find what they want. Arconic Prince putting on an incredible performance with this Agni, just being everywhere he needs to be, putting out damage where he needs to, and they're going to have to find a way to pick him if they really want to close this game out.
Yeah, it hasn't been the greatest game from Arconic Prince compared to his last two games, 7 and 5, but he still just pumps out this damage. I mean, top player damage on the board, 37k. He's 6k ahead of the second place player damage character, and that's the Hachiman for Bodega Hive. But just the same, Jet Forever's player damage may not be the craziest, but 3-1 and 11, he's definitely been a factor for his team in this game.
Yeah, definitely been putting in the work. I'd be surprised to see if he was, right around that 10, 11,000 mark on the player healing charts, if our lovely spectator could find him. But yeah, definitely putting in a lot of work. Might not be, putting in a ton of flashy damage, getting these, crazy rain fire stuns, but has been putting in a ton of work regardless in the background.
We'll need him to keep doing that too if we want to see a Death Dealers win as they shove their way down mid lane. Still have Fire Giant on 3 members, and it's 2 of the most important members as well of their backline. It's crazy to see them actually lose a Fire Giant here. What a blink,
yeah,
though.
They don't have Fire Giant anymore, and Dharmic Pillars used Kali, losing quite a bit of health. Incredible burst damage comes out from Jet Forever. Kali dead before they can even think about using the ultimate there. On her getting chased out by Nacho, making sure he's not able to contribute in this fight. Looking for a little bit more Titan, looking for him, not quite able to find him. Sun Wukong should bring him down. No, great blink gets him out of danger. Sun Wukong going to fall. 5 versus 1, low health bars everywhere for Death Dealers, but this Titan is falling. Half health, quarter health, right on down to it. Death Dealers are going to be your first Canes team to stamp their ticket for finals.
What an in call from Death Dealers there. Said, hey, that weakened middle Phoenix, we don't need Fire Giant. Let's just get in there and do it. Vomit plays hero for his team, forces the issue, says, I know you guys are getting hammered back there, but don't worry, I've got it. Takes that mid Phoenix down. Everyone from Bodega Hive are trying their best to take care of these backliners. Vomit continues to be the hero. Mr. Nacho putting on his cape for that last team fight. Zones out the on her.
MVP of that last
The
fight
MVP
has to be
sure.
Jet Forever. Jet Forever on that last
Oh,
fight
really?
won them the game. Yes, he bursted down Devin. Devin took 1 stun, and then Jet instantly just unleashed the ultimate into 1 and took him off the map before he could press ult. If Devin presses ult there, Bodega stays in that game. So just crazy play from them, and obviously Nacho just throughout the entire set being a menace to the enemy backline.
Yeah. And just looks, but that last fight just looks so good and manages to survive through it all. Nacho, I don't even think falls at the very end there and helps his team take it to a victory. And as you put it, first round or second seed going on to be your first team in the finals today. It's a good day for death dealers.
Yeah, they knocked down that one and nice set from them. Looked a little shaky at times, but we'll be seeing them next week for finals.
Hmm.
Just great set. We'll have one in about 15 minutes. We'll be right on back with you guys. So, thank you guys for coming out. Hopefully, you guys stick around for the next set. Going to be having Calder's Good Boys versus the Mystic Sea Serpents. Number one seed versus I can't give you an answer on that. I can't remember what Mystic Sea Serpents are sitting
Fifth,
at,
fifth
but
seed.
yeah, fifth seed. So should be a good one. Going to be nice and exciting. Hopefully you guys can stay around. I've been Ruler, joined by Freaky with Salty on the cams. Thank you guys for coming out.